that note. No more trouble. Good morning, everybody. We don't need no more troubles. We need telephone. What we need is love, sweet happiness. Bob Marley. Good morning, everybody. All right, let me get set up and stop dancing, singing, acting, singing. Good morning. Who was that? Hillary, first over on VK. Absolutely. Let me bring you forward. Need no troubles. We don't need no more troubles. What we need is love, sweet love. I think I'm done with Facebook in terms of live streaming. I think I might be. Hang on. We don't need. I don't need. No more damn trouble. All right, hang on. Let me get VJ check. Come on. Hopefully, everybody have a good weekend. Hopefully this I got my what is this? Play some music. All right, hang on. Let me stop. It's like Gerard, put the comments up. Stop running your mouth. All right. Let me stop. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. I want to talk about these things today, but first, I must get all these buttons. I got a lot more buttons I got to push now. I don't think I'm too interested in Facebook Live anymore. I have to think about it. I think I'm banning them. I think I'm a ban them. Like, I get that what they do is, it's about jobs, right? It's about food, right? The job isn't to make a platform that allows for free speech. The job is to not connect faces in a book. The job for people who work there is to get paid. And how you get paid, you have to do what you're told to do. Like the presidents, like the politicians. In fact, I had a great conversation with a politician this weekend on the local level. I'm not against politicians, I'm just against all the tricks. And it seems the further your government gets from you, the less honest they are, the more corrupt they are, the less influence you actually have. In my country, you get to the federal level, then you ain't got no say. You don't choose who goes in, you don't choose what they do. And it boggles my mind that people still play that game. But I was talking to him. It was a good conversation. Oh, we talked about 1871. We talked about the Federal Reserve Act. He just smiled through the whole thing. We had a great conversation. He was trying to tell me there's more corruption at the local level. And I was like, oh no, you just work on the local level. You need to read a few laws, brother. Anyway, all right, I got that. Let me bring in VK. And then we'll get started here. Good morning, everybody. Everybody had a good weekend. Y'all still here? We still here, see? Y'all didn't, nobody, we didn't lose. Well, how many people did we lose to the cuckoo virus? We lost a couple people to the cuckoo virus. We might have lost a couple people. I'm not saying people don't die from this stuff. I'm just simply saying we lost a lot more people this weekend to breast cancer. We lost a lot more people to cancer. We lost more people to ALS. We lost more people to all of these things because we follow the media. And in fact, that kind of fits with today's topic. You know, the Chimu from Peru, they invented the first telephone. They invented that telephone a long time ago, 2,000 years ago. That's not what I was taught in history. There's a reason why we don't know this. Hang on, let me get the VK chat going. Then I'm gonna shut up, Gerard. Shut up. Some stuff to shut up. Yes, I do talk to myself. I sometimes have to regulate myself so I can get on task, man. Not on task. Shut your mouth. Bring in the VK chat. We got Hillary and Diane over already good to go. Good morning. Thank you. Heading on over here. Now I need to make sure I know how to do it in the way that allows for, I might have to make some changes. It has to allow for the reactions. So you want to put the little hearts and likes and angry and vomit face and all of that nonsense, which is fun. You got to go every day. And I also got to post a VK link on my homepage on Facebook. I appreciate y'all posting it. Sometimes I think Patricia, a few others take care of that, Lori. But I don't think it lets you post that unless I approve it. So, that's just how it goes. We invented the telephones, we ended up with the internet. We don't control none of it. So, here is that. Hang on. I'm going as fast as I can. Y'all be patient. You get a little older, you got to slow things down. You can't just jump out of bed anymore. Oh, look at this. Look at the news today. What is that? Erase interest until 2021. Oh yeah. All right. Whew. But should interest exist? I don't think interest should exist. All right, there we go. Put that there. How come I'm not seeing VK? All right, hang on. I got some more. Apparently I have a few more buttons. fast. It's not doing what I needed to do. No, that's not VK. Oh, you know what? Ooh, they fixed something. Had a backup method, and it looks like maybe they fixed it. Let's try this another way. Let's try how it's supposed to work. Sometimes, on rare occasion, things work how they're supposed to work. That would be so nice if this actually worked how it's supposed to. Oh, dang, it works. Look at that. How about that? I like technology. There we go. There goes VK right there. No, it would not be a Facebook screen. It would not. I think I'm done. I told you that. Now what I gotta do, I gotta get rid of, why is that showing? Why is the stock market, here we go, get that stock market out. We don't want that crap, black market crap. It's a little weird because we have the double chat screen there, and I gotta figure out how to make that smooth, and I'll work on that over time. All right, there we go. But the Chimu made the first telephone. Did y'all? I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was somebody in Europe in 1833. Apparently not. Apparently they, the same way that they go digging in these tombs, they find technology and they try to use it best that they can. And yeah, what was it? It was two gourds. It was two vegetables. Two vegetables with oil and all kind of stuff. They put oil on a string and they found it in a tomb. And we didn't find out till 1833. Why? Because the kings and lords, they had to figure out how to use it against us, how to figure out how to, because they could put the string underneath our huts and connect the two huts of the lords and they could talk around us, right? Because that's what they do with all the technology they find from these tombs. They sit on it, they figure out how to utilize it against us, and then they release it. And you see UFOs on the television. Anyway, good morning, everybody. All right, let me get it together. Who is that? Rebecca, good morning. What we need is love. Hillary, that's all we need is love. What we need is love. Already with a tap. Am I tapping? I might be tapping, Hillary. I don't know. Good morning. Fine and less tap on VKG. Okay, good. I don't know why that is. Tap. Maybe that's music there. That might be learning software. That might be AI. You know, that might be how it's tapping. Maybe it's like a ping. Maybe it's a ping. Like what is this? What is that? Submarine pings. I don't know. All right, give me a minute. I want to make sure this looks right. I don't like how it looks. It's not looking right. It's not looking right at all. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Deborah Chandler. I think I have to figure out, like and share. Thank you, brother Dillon. I think I have to, I don't like that. I want to see the happy faces over here. I don't like how it looks though. Hold on. What can we do? What do we do? Well, you stop voting for your government. That's number one, because you don't have a government. Not above the state level, not in America. No, you got rulers, baby. You got owners. They own you. They own you. And I was thinking about it this morning, like, do governments, like, aren't they supposed to reduce human suffering? Aren't they supposed to reduce citizen suffering, not increase it? Not take campaign contributions to increase it. They literally push human beings that are citizens to the brink of the worst suffering they can through legislation because they get great retirements for it. Governments don't increase the suffering of the people, baby. Governments are supposed to reduce that. You don't have a government. Nobody is governing. The only country I know that's governing, the only government in the world to me is Bhutan. They have national gross happiness. All the rest of them, they're just taking money from big corporations, just squeezing that tourniquet, just squeezing the citizens to get every last drop until the ignorant, apathetic people who are still cheering the system to hold it up, create enough suffering until it affects them. As long as it doesn't affect them, they're good to go. All right, I want to get going with that. I said I was going to fix the screen. I want to fix the screen. I'm not even sure what to do. Hold on. Let me try this. So if I send up a happy face, well, I'm gonna send up the geek face. Here we go. If I send up the geek face to, no, that doesn't, no, I did it wrong. Did I do it wrong? I did it wrong. No, I don't want to send up the geek face. I want to send up the floaty face. How you get the floaty face? Oh, it's right here, right? You go to here, go to floaty face, and I'm gonna kiss on myself. Yay! Okay, I can make the screen a lot smaller. I can stop it right here, and that'll be a little easier. Hang on. Make a modification here. Don't make a modification. So I'm gonna remove that joker right there, and I'm gonna add a new screen. Good morning, everybody. We're almost ready to get started. It's gonna take a little longer. We gotta figure out how to do this. Like I said, I'm banning Facebook. I think they're training me, and I don't want to be trained. I'm defiant. I have no interest in their training. They want me to talk cute. They want me to, there you go. All right, we're gonna do it that way. That's close enough. They need me to talk like a child, and I don't want to talk like a child. I mean, yeah, it hurts. I'm not excited about this idea that, oh, you're a hate speaker. You're a Facebook hate speaker. I don't know about that. It hurt my feelings a little bit, you know, because I don't speak hate against anybody, but I understand what's going on, right? You've got the Global Alliance, right, which is a NATO organization determining what can be true and false on Facebook. They're the truth ministry. And what has to be true has to be that NATO good, Nazi bad. Like, I was thinking about that this morning. Like, what's the difference between a Nazi-run world, what they were trying to do, and a NATO-run world, what they are doing? What's the difference? I'd love to anybody answer that question. I don't see any difference. I don't think there's anything, not at a principle level, not at a model level, not at a systemic level. It's the same exact thing. Who the hell's got upside down faces on VK? Oh, you know what? I didn't post a link, did I? I'm all excited. I'm getting ready to go. I told everybody to come on over here. So okay, let me give you 1 minute. Let me post a link on Facebook for VK, because I know a lot of people are having trouble signing up. And that's an issue. But what's the difference? Somebody answer that question for me. What's the difference between NATO running the world and the Nazis running the world? Right? They both start with N. They both got 4 letters. And we should probably be using a lot of 4-letter words because of them. Anytime people are ruled, they use a lot more 4-letter words than when they don't. Right? People don't like to be ruled. They don't like control. They don't like to be controlled. People like to be free. And when they're not free, they use a lot of 4-letter words. All right, here we go. Here's the video right here. Let me get this link. I'm gonna go put it on Facebook. I'm not gonna put the YouTube link over there. Although I kind of do want, if you're not subscribed, by the way, I think you should subscribe right now. I'm working on another piece of technology. Well, another plug-in anyway. Hang on, go on over to Facebook. Subscribe, because I want to see if the magical subscription thing's supposed to pop up. I got magic over here. You subscribe, it's supposed to pop up, and I'm gonna shout you out, be like, yay! We're gonna talk about you for a little bit. No, I gotta talk about you. I'm gonna thank you. I appreciate it. We have to build on new platforms. We gotta diversify. We cannot stick to one platform. I did pretty good. This weekend. I didn't post a whole bunch on Facebook. I'm punishing them. I'm punishing them because we can't fix the world if we don't know what the hell, if we're not allowed to say what's wrong with the world, right? You're not gonna fix the world in the language of the child. You have to be able to say things that people don't like. And I finally think I figured out what pissed them off. I was talking about Joe Biden. That's what it was. I'm sorry. We need to talk about Joe Biden. We do. We need to talk. Oh, you know what? I turned the VK chat off. Let me turn that back on. We got to be able to talk about Joe Biden. If he's one of the rulers and people think he's going to rule the world, we need to talk about him. We need to talk about the rules that he makes. We need to talk about the laws that he writes. We need to talk about the children that he kisses. We need to talk about him getting that spike suit so we can be safe. I mean, I'm fine if y'all want Joe Biden to run the world. That's up to y'all, or pretend to run the world, be a puppet. But can we get the man a spike suit? Can we get him a spike suit that when, the kids, they see the spikes and they run? Got to get him a spike suit. And it's not a Biden thing, it's a Trump thing. Trump done went to parties, y'all. Trump done went to the Epstein parties. I don't pull punches on anyone. But we can't fix the world through releasing people to discover their own consciousness, to have their own critical thought, if we can't even talk about what's wrong with the damn world. We can't even talk about the people. So I think what got me in trouble is I said Joe Biden was creepy, and that was hate speech, but he's creepy. I don't care what he said. He's creepy, he's creepy, he's creepy, he's creepy, he's creepy. That's why now I'm on Periscope. I'm on Periscope again. I stopped with Periscope. I'm back on Periscope and YouTube and VK, and we'll spread from there. But no, you got to be able to say what's wrong with people. I will always protect children. And if you got Trump going to the party, the Epstein parties that the Trump voters don't want to admit that you got a little something wrong with that man, and you got Biden who can't keep his lips off of people, then we need to talk about that too. And if that's considered hate speech, then NATO, you can go to hell. I'm sorry. I don't believe in Nazi rule just because you changed your name to NATO. You got a 4-letter acronym. You still want to blow up the world, build an empire. We need to be able to talk about what's wrong with the world from a neutral perspective. So yeah, that's why when I went back to the video, that's when that's when they got upset. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to kiss on other people's children. You're not supposed to do that. So you're not supposed to. If that's what y'all want to say is hate speech, then I will. But I ain't mad at Facebook. I'm not mad at those people because they got to put food in their bellies too. Like that's the game. That's the game. The game is everybody's got a job that's complicit with all of this nonsense, and they got to put food in their belly. All right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Ignoring it totally. What am I ignoring, Lori? I didn't ignore anything. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. Citizen, I'm not profaning. Ooh, somebody's profaning, but that's okay. That's why people, you know what? It's like when I do interviews with people. I haven't done one in a minute. They're like, oh, I won't cuss if you do an interview. Not going to cuss, man. Cuss, women. That's your real experience. That's what you've been through. I don't cuss because I was raised to be a good slave in a good Christian church. So I don't do it. And I kind of feel like it offends people. And I tend to have better discussions because of my makeup and how I work out. Not that I got makeup or that I work out, but but my makeup, my DNA profile, my aura, when I talk to people, I find I have better discussions if I don't curse. So I don't curse. But if you curse, you should curse. We should be able to have conversations like an adult. And I think that's what they were upset with. They said, oh, that's hate speech, and they blocked it. I'm like, no, saying hate speech doesn't exist is a fact. Hate speech doesn't exist. Because to you, because NATO runs the world, and this Global Alliance Truth Ministry probably runs most social media platforms. If they're not on VK, they might be eventually. If not, they got the Russian one. They'll be on YouTube. That's just how it works. You need to be able to say, Nazi not bad, Nazi same damn thing as NATO. You need to be able to say that and have an adult conversation. Nope, Trump not bad, same damn thing as Obama. Nope, Obama not bad, same damn thing as Bush. No, Bush not bad, same damn thing as Clinton. All right, we need to be able to say what's true or we're not going to get anywhere. So right, free your mind and free your mouth. Somebody said free your mind. Free your mouth. And free other people's mouths too. Let them talk. You got to let people say this. And this is why I'm getting to the Chimu. It's funny how that's on topic with censoring, but how, you know what? So the first telephone was invented by the Chimu. This is the string in a can. So it was two gourds. They shined up the gourds. They put like vegetable oil and they had like a little membrane or something in the base of it. They connected the strings from hut to hut. And then the king, when the king died, because they used on the telephone, like, hey, yo, what's going on? Like we did this as kids. And when the king died, he put it in a tomb. They buried the king with his telephone. Somebody dug up the tomb 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later, didn't tell anybody that they dug it up. And magically, they invented the telephone. Where do you think the telegraph came from? Where do you think the teletype? It came from this telecord right here that the Mayans made 2,000 years ago, the Chimu people. They made it. And then somebody lied about it, like, oh, look, y'all, I made a telephone, look. We can talk. It's the teletype. We can talk in 1833. Look how good I am. Because we like to do that. We like to lie to each other. Right, and we like to hide, the kings and lords like to hide what they find in these tombs. Whether it's an ancient telephone to figure out how to abuse people, an ancient chemical, some mercury. What else have been finding in them tombs? That tuning fork, the one that they think they use vibration to lift bricks with and all over Egypt, the V-monitors. That's why they don't open tombs live on TV, because they might find something in there that they can lie to you and say that they invented later. And then everybody else gets it later on once the kings utilize it to create a world. We live in a false world, y'all. Matrix was right. Matrix was a documentary. The wool has been pulled over our eyes because we still agree with this idea that the kings and lords got all the secrets. Nobody subscribed yet. Damn it, I need a new subscription. I need to see if the app works. Somebody press that button. Good morning, everybody. All right, pack of lies in the theater. Lori, that's all it is. The world is a stage, baby. That's all it is. The world's a stage. Please stop pretending we're not eating popcorn sitting in the theater cheering the show, but real people die. All right, there we go. Let me see. I gotta make sure this is working. All right, I'm not seeing no faces on VK. I like to see faces, but y'all won't press no faces. That's okay. That's okay. How can a nutritious vegetable be a curse? What are we talking about? What are y'all, G not following what we say? I'm not following anything that you say. Takes a lot of context. So funny. What's so funny? Okra not bad. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okra is bad. Citizen Dev, okra's bad. I'm allowed my flavor. Everybody has their own taste and flavor profiles. Like I was saying the other day, you got conservatives, and the conservatives, they don't believe that people have sexual flavors. Yes, they do. People got sexual. Some people like men. Some people like women. Some people like men and women. Some people like early in the life, they like this and they like that. Everybody has their own flavors. Let them have it. And then the liberals, they think that hate speech exists. So I can't be on any of the teams. These people are nuts. I have no idea what's wrong with people no more. All right. I guess I got to figure out what y'all are talking about. Yes, that's a trick learned in kindergarten, and then learned in kindergarten. The boxes and thread connected funny. It's funny, Christine. It's all over the world now. They don't invent any. I don't think anybody invents anything. I think we rediscover things and we pretend we invented it. But they didn't invent anything. They didn't discover anything. All right. So, but it was the Chimu people. Now I got to figure out how I can go over here and modify this so that this platform thing works out. I need to check Periscope too. Let me go find the Periscope link. Anyone do anything good this weekend? Anyone do anything good this weekend at all? Anyone do anything that's against the NATO Nazi empire that rules the world because we're the Fourth Reich? I think that I have to promote platforms more that allows people to talk like adults, right? To talk about the real problems, not, you could say anything, but anything that goes against one of the NATO lords, one of the NATO kings, suffering, starving their own people, hiding the resources from the people. Like, what I was thinking about this morning. There's only one crime in my society. I said, no, we got 100,000 laws. You might have 100,000 laws. You might have 1,000,000 laws. There's only one crime. And the only crime is starving the people of resources that cause them to be violent, right? Like, that's all they do. The people who have access to the resources keep those resources from other people, and they end up doing survival reactions to the original crime, which is hiding the resources or keeping the resources from people. And that's what the Joe Bidens do. That's what Donald Trumps do. That's what the George Bushes do. That's what the Obamas do. And they get paid very well to do it. They get paid to make you okay with the fact that they keep resources from you and your neighbors, keeping you in conflict like a slave. We are a slave plantation people. They own us. George Carlin was a prophet. But there's only one crime, and it's not the people. The people can't commit a crime in my country. There's no criminal in my country anywhere, because they're all starved into survival mode with the things that they do. All right. And what motivates them? Hunger, food, right, Dylan? The same thing that motivates the people who ban you on social media to put food in their belly. Right? When people are starved into mental illness, they're starved into those survival genes that we had from the monkey days. They'll kill people. They'll do anything they have to eat. Everybody will. Like the nicest, cleanest, prettiest pastor from the nicest church, the priest with the most pristine uniform, the politician or the scientist with the white uniform. How come that people who wear white, they get more trust than people who don't? That's another thing I have to think about. But they all need to eat. They all want to eat, and people who eat the less got to do things to eat. And unfortunately, they get used to doing those things. A life of small stealing as a young child, which is not a crime. That's what you do when your government's starving you of resources. It can turn into violence. You got to pick up a gun. You got to get a knife, because the other people you're stealing from who are also having the resources taken from them, they don't like that. They get guns and knives to protect themselves. So you get a gun and knife to protect yourself. You grow up, you kind of get used to violence. This is becoming normal. You realize conflict theory. You realize that hate is how you make things work in your society, that you don't have a society. You have a fight club. And eventually that ends up in drive-by shootings. It ends up in gangs and Ku Klux Klans and skinheads and Bloods and Crips and MS-13s. And you create this conflict-based society where you're saying all these poor people are criminals. They ain't none of them criminals. They were just babies. They were just born. They were born to ignorance. They were born in an ignorant society that starved them back into survival genes. There's only one crime. And that's a rulers pretending to be a government, keeping resources from the people, keeping them all in conflict. That's the only crime. I don't believe in crime. I think all the jails should be open up. What are y'all talking about? Okra? What the hell? I want to kind of look at the news this morning. Was it something important? Can somebody sum it up? What were y'all talking about? I can't go back. All crimes are a form of theft. All crimes are a form of theft. All crimes are violations, right? When you violate somebody else, when you violate their space, their body, them, that's the only crime. And you have a government, and by its very name and governing, you're supposed to be governing the people, not starving them into scarcity and conflict. So I think that's the only crime, is them pretending to be something that they're not. No, evil motivates evil. What's evil, Dillip? What's evil? Evil motivates evil. Okay, well, we can use that. That can fit. Because the evil at the top that keep resources from the people, that knows will push them into survival modes, will motivate them to do evil. Absolutely that fits. That totally fits. Say it that way. It works out perfectly. Evil motivates evil. Evil at the top, there's only one crime, and it brings out the evil in the other people, right? Everybody's got evil in them. Everybody's capable of the most horrible things possible. They just need the right motivation. They need the right environment, right? They use this survival of the luckiest, because it's not fittest, it's luckiest. It depends on where you were born, who your parents are, and what you got. That's all it's based on. And if you were unlucky enough to be born to the wrong parents in the wrong place at the wrong time, your government will starve you into survival. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. As you have said, there are plenty of resources to go around. So why do we allow all of this to continue? Dillip, isn't that the $1 billion question, brother? That's the how many billions we got on the planet they print. And they only print just enough for them and keep us in conflict with one another. That's the $1 billion question, Dillip. Why does anybody deal with this nonsense anymore? We got the example from the damn telephone. They create things to keep us in conflict. And now we got a mainstream massive media, and they didn't invent the telephone. They just use this stuff to keep everybody in conflict. That's the multi-billion-dollar earth burning up, destroying, blowing up, extincting the species question. Why the hell does anybody believe this crap anymore? Why does anybody support this crap anymore? Those are the real questions. I don't know the answer to that question. Well, maybe I do. Hang on, let's take this back, Dillip. Let's roll this back. Maybe I do. Maybe I got a sense of idea of what it might be. I say it that way. Dillip, somebody told me this weekend. So you think you know everything. You think you got the answer for everything. And I was thinking about it, and you know how that's supposed to be bad because it makes you think that you're arrogant or ignorant or something like that, that you know everything. And I thought about it. Why would anybody think that I know everything? And every damn day I say, I don't know nothing. Try to figure that out. And I realized what it was. I realized that my actions are based in thought now. Right? So when I was born, I was on autopilot, right? Everybody else told me what to do. I mimicked everybody else. I was kind of given my me. Myself was made up by where I was born, to who, where at, and how much resources we had, and under what government. And now as an older person, I'm not on autopilot no more. I actually think about things before I do them. And so when people like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? And I always got to answer, Dillip. I got to answer. Well, why'd you go there? Well, because I thought about it for a couple weeks and I decided it was a good idea to go there. I didn't just go there because everybody else was going. Well, why would you do this? Because I thought about it for a little while. I don't believe in acting without thinking. Then it makes you sound like you know every damn thing. It's like, no, I don't know everything. I know the things that I do because I don't do anything unless I have some thought behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes you look crazy in this society where people are just doing things because everybody else is doing. They're doing it because it's on TV. The whole cuckoo virus and all the nonsense going on with that. People are just doing, and I don't do no more. I don't do anything till I kind of know what's going on. Dillip, I don't go nowhere till I know. So I kind of think, why do people still deal with this nonsense? Why do they still believe in running around in the Wizard of Oz in Oz? Why do they still believe in running around in Oz knowing there's somebody behind the curtain? Well, one, there's a very small group of people who don't know somebody's behind the curtain. They don't know that there's a wizard. They don't know that a wool's been pulled over their eyes. But I think the vast majority is what somebody said the other day, which is it's the system. The system makes you complicit at birth. The only people who aren't complicit with the system are the people who are dead. And so I think all we can do probably, brother, is reduce the amount of support we have for the system on a regular basis, right? Accept the fact that we are being ruled, and our rule is no better than Nazi rule, right? It's 4 letters, both of them start with an N, whether it's NATO or Nazi. If your model is rule people by force and fear and tanks and bombs and laws and police states, it's going to be the same damn thing. There's nothing that they did that we don't do. In fact, NATO does it significantly worse because people, they tweaked it. They've tweaked it. People think that they're good supporting these economic systems of starving people into violence. People think they're the good guys, and there are no good guys. There's just a system. So I think everybody supports it, and it's designed to work that way. Your clock changed already in the U.S. Yes, it did, Christine, and that's a damn tyranny. Yes, it did, Christine. Christine, I was so upset this morning. I was so upset. I got up this morning, and my alarm clock went off, and I turned that sucker off. I turned it right back off, Christine. No, because you know what? Because I can turn my alarm off, my slavery device, my slavery wake up. And usually the light will get me just in time to get up. I overslept 30 minutes. I fell back in, Christine. I went back into another dream. This is slavery. This is, you know what? These are good examples, Christine, that we are still slaves because we still have daylight savings. They are still trying to milk every last dime, every last blood, sweat, and tear of labor out of us. We are a forced labor camp, and that's exactly what daylight savings is for. So the slaves could work harder on the farms, and that's exactly what we are. It's what we've always been. We've been forced labor slaves. They had that philosophy back then. They're still using it today. So I was so upset. I fell into a dream, Christine. I woke up, somebody was being chased in the dream. What do dreams mean? I don't know. Somebody was being chased. They were being beat up by 4 or 5 people, and I got my opportunity. I started running down the hill. One of them was like sectioned out. I jumped in the air and I kung fu kicked him, and I woke up. What the hell? Oh, that was just a dream. I don't stand by. When people in trouble, I always jump in. I don't believe in like sitting by watching somebody get beat up in my dream or in real life. And that woke me up. And that first thought I had this morning, Christine, is why do we still got this slavery like daylight savings nonsense happening? We don't even live on farms anymore. It has nothing to do with the daylight, but they keep it because they want to squeeze every last piece of blood and sweat out of people for the GDP. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Ain't got nothing to do with you neither. No victims, no crimes. Is that true, Hillary? No victims, no crime. I think there is a root crime. I think the root crime is keeping crime. That's what I think. I think the root crime is architecting a society based in tweaking out the violent activity of people. I think that's the only crime. I think there's one crime. I think you get rid of that crime where you free everybody, let them be. I think all the other crime, the fake crimes go away, the reactionary crimes go away. We evolved to become the people we're supposed to under abundance. But I think there is a crime. I think it's just the root crime of keeping crime instead of making it go extinct. I think greed. I'm gonna read some comments, and we'll go with the comments, and we'll take a look at the old and see what's in the old today, because it ain't new, ain't news. The world is a stage. They own all the media because they hid the telephone. They didn't give telephones to everybody. In fact, back then when they found this with the Chimu people, it was just for the lords. They owned it. They owned it. The Mayan rulers. Because we look back in the ancient times and we say, oh, they were better. We need to go back to those days. I don't think we need to go back to those days. I think we need to go back to small community like tribes. I'm learning this weekend. Did you realize that that's where we got the system of government we have now? It's from the Maya? Well, not really, because they didn't really necessarily have banks that I know of. And that's the real government. But the whole republic style, that there were no just the Maya government. The Mayans all had different regions and different kings and lords who ruled. They had their own languages and their own setup, their own different little style of government, but they all reported up to the Mayan Empire, the great one at the top, the king. But they were like a republic style model. And I found that to be highly interesting, that we got everything. We stole everything we had from the ancient people and then we murdered them. All the ideas, right? Like chocolate. Where'd chocolate come from? Cacao. Where'd that come from? The Aztecs. But the Mayans made the chocolate. Why? Because the Mayans got this is a cacao. This is nice. They figured out how to mix it with certain glues and whatever, and glue-like substance, and made chocolate. And then we murdered them. And they tried to murder the Aztecs. And we, these ancient people were stupid. They didn't know anything. They were monkeys in skirts, and they used to murder people on the pyramids. But our whole world was built by them. Like the model of government, the damn chocolate, the telephone. Everything came from them. Everything came from them. So many pointless jobs. Dillips, all jobs are pointless. At this point in time, I think we know 80% of most jobs people don't have to do, right? They're just being kept in slavery because of busy work. I think there's a lot of things happening outside the realms of what we're allowed to see. And this is just technology, Dilip, that we know. We don't even know what we don't know. Like, who was the war criminal who said that? The war criminal who said, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know what you don't know. And we don't know nothing. Dilip, we have no damn idea the technology that these people actually have. We have, because they don't tell us. They sit on the telephone for a long time. They sit on the V-monitors. They only release it in a way that keeps us in conflict with one another still, not in a freeing way. If all the Mayans had telephones back then in Chimu City and they could talk back and forth, they'd have revolted against the king. That's free speech. You don't have an NSA and a NATO global alliance with a Facebook and social media in between them strings. You can't even fit it. They could talk. And when people talk, bad things happen for kings and lords. Bad things happen. Freedom of speech is a dangerous, dangerous thing to give to people. All right. Let me see. Crimes always have victims. That's it, Lori. And the only victim is 7 billion people around this planet that are too stupid to realize they're being controlled by the people who own the resources. That's the only crime. After that, there is no other crime. There are no other crimes. There are people abusing each other, but there is no crime. That root crime dictates everything. That root crime keeps this whole conflict theory alive. All right, what's going on VK? Some weird things are happening on VK. I think I pressed the play button, it stopped. Why does it look like it's frozen? Okay, there we go. Now it's moving. Oh, wait, are we still live on VK? What happened? Hang on. 1 moment, please. 1 moment. No, VK's having some troubles. It's an error. You know what? No, I said there's some errors, but it looks like VK went down. Okay, all right. Well, we'll figure this out. I don't know what the heck is going on with it, but something going on with it. It doesn't look like the comments are rolling. And if I refresh it, hold on, let me see if I can refresh it, see if that changes anything. Oh, wait, but all of them say we're live. Okay, so maybe it tanked out. Hang on. No, that's it right there. Well, it's gonna take a little bit to figure it out. Let me hide this real quick, see if I can go in the chat and figure out what happened. So many pointless jobs, but why, Dilip? That's the other question I want to know. But why? Like, my theory is it's just busy work. My theory is they just want people to stay busy so they can keep rule over them. I think when people are busy, and they're fighting against each other over resources and jobs and grades and all that stuff, nations and groups and religions, all the little stupid identities. And I call them stupid. And that's more, I guess, hate speech. I'm calling identity stupid. I think every subhuman group is stupid. I think it's ignorant. I think it's ignorant to keep something that we know they use to keep us all in conflict. I think it's busy work. I think if people are worried about their neighbor and they're scared of their neighbor, they cheer their government. They cheer, and it's not a government. They're just rulers. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's live. Like it tanked out. Hang on. Let me try to restart VK. I have to figure out how to, looks like Periscope's still going. I gotta use the Periscope link. What I'm gonna do, I just see an error. I'm gonna stop VK and restart it and see what happens. Busy work. I think that when you keep the human race busy, you don't give them free energy. You don't use 3D printing. You don't use automated robots. You don't use learning software for them. You just use those things to keep against them, to keep them in conflict, like the telephone they found in Chimu 2,000 years ago. I think when you use it to keep control of people, that should have worked. Let me check VK again. People aren't worried about what the kings are doing. People whose bellies are needing filling, they're gonna go to whoever has the food. All right, it's like a zoo. If you overfeed the animals, you might have some trouble. You overfeed the human race, you let them talk to each other, you let them find sentience, you let them do all of those things, you're gonna be in big trouble. But as long as they're turning against each other and they don't have the things that they need, the kings and lords can get away with a whole lot. All right, I don't know. Okay, VK came up with another error. So we're gonna have to work on VK. I don't know what's going on. I'll play with it while we're sitting here talking and we'll see what happens. Speeding tickets, no victims. It's simply extortion. That's it, Rebecca. There's no reason why you can't speed. Why can't Rebecca Costello drive at 100 miles an hour on the road? If Rebecca is old enough, her eyes work, she can control her vehicle, she can drive 100 miles an hour. And guess what? If I see Rebecca coming, I have an issue with how Rebecca's driving, I can pull over on the side of the road. But besides the fact we can use technology to prevent people from getting in accidents anyway. We don't use technology to solve problems. We use technology for greed to make more money. If we actually use technology for like self-driving cars, nobody would get in an accident. It would work like a grid system. They just want to extort people. There was a little town in Rebecca off Route 13 in Delaware, I remember. And it was a poor town because what happened is the main road had shifted away from the town. So the Main Street businesses couldn't make any money. And so what they would do anytime anybody from New York or in that area wanted to go on down to Ocean City, they had to go down Route 13. They had a little town with a guy with the speed, the police, he would just sit at the edge of town, and everybody going over the bridge, you're going 55, 60 miles an hour at the time, and as soon as you hit the town limits, the speed limit drops to like 35. And all he did was sit there and just nail people. That was the town's income. They would just sit there and just capture people going to the beach. They were just extorting people. You know, but we know stuff like this and we keep stuff like this. And that's a problem. Yeah, I think BK did freeze up. I think BK froze up. Uh-oh. Ooh, we gotta look at this. Uh-oh. I see something. Hold on. I gotta show you the news. I gotta show you the old. Hang on. I see something that looks important. It looks important. As soon as somebody argues, it's about aliens and UFOs. Yes, it is. That's the only thing that matters. We know we can free people, and so we need to free them. Hang on. Let me do this. Let me do this right here. So, does life exist in outer space? It looks like a question. Hang on. Ooh, RT, funded by the Russians. Russians, you are the Russians. Okay? You are the Russians. They don't exist. And that's why the censoring is so hard right now online. It's because people actually believe the Russians interfere with their election. You see how you got played? See how they played you on that one? They didn't play me. We monkey with everybody's election. We always have. But now Facebook got in trouble. Y'all got them up on stage, and now they got to block people's videos and block you from speaking like an adult because you thought the Russians interfere with your election. That's why I think I might stay off of Facebook in terms of live streaming until after the election. Because I don't have time. I don't have time for the nonsense. Like, I'd rather have a conversation of 15 adults speaking free speech, being able to say what they need to me. I can say what I need to them, and we have a real discussion than a fake discussion on a fake platform where they're controlling what people say and they're teaching you to self-censor yourself. That's why they do it. That's why they block you. Because the next time you want to post something and you want to say Creepy Joe, you'll think about it, because whether or not you'll be blocked from seeing your family's pictures for 3 days, or liking them, or seeing a play or something online that your family goes to. Like, that's how it's all a psyop. They're literally using the power that they have to make you self-censor yourself. And to me, that's not a conversation. That's control.
On this
that's controlling
video, you
all
are
the
about to watch the latest coverage. But before you do, portable Tomonori Totani at the University of Tokyo suggests there is a reason to believe life may exist elsewhere in the universe beyond our observable neighborhood, as he calls it. He says there are certain combinations of both biological and cosmological models that suggest the building blocks of life could spontaneously form a process called abiogenesis. So for more insight on all of this, we'll talk to former commander of the ISS and NASA astronaut, Dr. Leroy Chow. Leroy, always good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Great to be with you.
So, Leroy.
First of all, before we go too far with the whole NASA thing, why are we looking at this? To me, this is interesting. It's not super interesting, but it's interesting, right? It's interesting because you can start to see how your world works when you let these deep state dragoons talk. He already said he was NASA, so I already know he's not going to tell you the truth. NASA stands for never a straight answer. He's not actually going to tell you the truth. But I think that he'll help people who live in the current narrative, who believe the mainstream media, that NASA's actually looking for life in outer space. He'll help fulfill that narrative. But I think he's going to say some things that will open the minds of people who believe our kings and lords that the possibility is there. And if the possibility is there, you can walk those people into, yeah, they're there. Not only are they there, they're all throughout the solar system. They're all throughout the galaxy. They're all throughout the dimensions. They're all throughout life is everywhere on this planet, and life is everywhere in space. This is where all the religions come from. This is why all the texts merge together in the things that they talk about, because in ancient times they saw this stuff and they all wanted to seek God in the heavens. And it's not an ancient astronaut theory. It is literally just how the world works. That's just how it's how not the world Earth, but how our universe works, how everything works. Everything's an ecosystem. Life tries to create itself everywhere. But I think he's going to say that. But do I believe NASA? No, I don't. We're only given to the extent of what keeps us in conflict with everybody else, like we talked about the other day. If they admit to you that all the things that you need, all the resources are in space, then you'll wonder, why in the world am I still fighting with people on Earth? And why do I have a government and corporations that actually have secrets? Let me see. Did Facebook ever give you a prison term? Nope, I didn't look, Lori. I didn't look. It might have been 3 days. I might have been freed. I'm not doing. I deleted Facebook Live. I deleted it's got a conduit and that I use with my software. I just deleted it. I don't want to be there. I don't think I want to be there from a live streaming perspective. I'm bothered by the whole hate speech thing. I'm bothered by that. So if we can't have open and clear conversations, I'm not sure I want to support it, Lori. Not to that extent. Maybe after the elections or something. I don't think that I don't want to be controlled into self-censoring, right? If I build like a platform, whatever here that we're doing, a community, it needs to be not only spontaneous, it needs to be honest. It needs to be an adult one. I don't want a NATO one. I don't want a Nazi one. I want all free speech. And so I didn't even look because I'm not interested in going on Facebook Live. It might be 30 days. It might be permanent. I don't really care at this point. We need to have real conversations, and I need to make sure that I'm not centering myself. Right? If I can't say creepy Joe Biden, then we ain't no love on that platform. I have to be able to say creepy Joe because he's creepy. In my reality, he's creepy. All right. So let's take a look at it over here.
All right. As Earthlings, now that you're back to being an Earthling, we seem to have had this limitation of how we study the origins of life. We are bound by Earth conditions in many ways. But Professor Totani's research takes a wider look at life origins, and he says the abiogenesis of RNA, ribonucleic acid, formed by nucleotides over the expanse of inflation of the universe. I mean, how would you paraphrase this to pare it down for, say, I don't know, like a high school or middle school student?
Sure, of course, RNA and DNA are essential components for life as we understand it. And so what the professor is talking about is the observable universe. That is what we can observe with our telescopes using today's technology. If you calculate the volume of that sphere, and you can do certain calculations, and you're assuming that these RNA self-assemble randomly, then by conventional physics, you could say that, well, the sphere is not big enough. So what the professor is saying is, well, but the universe extends way beyond that sphere, and so in actuality, the universe is big enough for those things to happen statistically. Now, I would argue that the more we learn about the universe, the more we understand how little we understand about the universe. There's even been some fundamental questioning whether a very fundamental assumption in physics is valid anymore. That is, it's always been assumed that physics that we observe here on our Earth is the same everywhere in the universe. And there have been some physicists that suggest maybe that's not the case. I would also point to some very recent missions, very exciting missions. Just in the last several years, we have detected the presence of amino acids, which are the building blocks, of course, for DNA on comets. We have detected other building blocks like methane and hydrogen on the moons of Saturn and maybe even Europa. So even in our own cosmic backyard, we have some tantalizing clues about possible life elsewhere in the universe. And I'm going to bet that next year, when Mars 2020, when the new rover arrives on Mars and begins to work, we may very well find some pretty hard evidence that life at least used to exist there, at least on a microbial level.
Now we know that your friends over at NASA have named that new rover Perseverance yesterday from a local kid just down the road here from where I'm sitting. So pretty cool for that boy. And when Professor Totani says life, clear this up for us. Is he talking about, an E.T. or Star Wars type creature? Or are we talking about, like what you just mentioned, life forms that may not really be observable to the naked eye?
Sure, of course, life starts more simply and then evolves into more complex life. And so we start with microbial life, and of course, over millions of years, or maybe even longer, that will evolve into more complex life, hopefully. So I would say that it runs the gamut. In fact, my own personal belief is that there's life all throughout the universe, but it's so far spread out that we'll never find each other. So I don't believe we've been visited by aliens, but I believe other intelligent life definitely exists elsewhere in the universe.
Now, Leroy, this is coming on the heels of this new discovery of this 30-year-old meteorite of which your former colleagues at NASA discovered to have proteins in it. So does that mean we are getting closer to being able to prove that there is life out there, at least on paper?
Well, that's right. And that's a very exciting discovery. As you say, this meteorite was actually discovered some time ago, but it was only very recently analyzed, and the presence of what looks like these proteins are actually there. Now, it hasn't been verified. Of course, everything has to be peer-reviewed and looked over, but very exciting preliminary results. If, in fact, proteins have been found on this meteorite, which I believe they said came from Mars, then that's another piece of the puzzle that perhaps...
I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to listen. It's so hard because NASA's not looking for life, y'all. They're not looking. They're not looking. But I appreciate what he's saying. It's so hard to listen. I appreciate because he's putting, do you understand what I'm saying? He's putting in the blocks and the construct to walk people who believe the kings and lords that the possibility is there. They're not looking. Their job is to not find life. That's what their job is. So it's so hard to listen. Life is all over the universe. Life is in lava. Life is in nuclear power plants. Life is everywhere. And if they can't find it, they're obviously not looking too hard. Because if they actually find it, it's going to remove conflict. Just like the telephone. If you actually had free speech, if you had not what the Chimu did, but they, look, we found it, opened the tomb, found a telephone. We're going to give it to everybody on the planet. You wouldn't have slavery. You wouldn't have people being enslaved. You wouldn't have nations and trading blocks and black markets. People are very fearful of the idea of alien life. I don't think you need to be fearful of it. You're in Europe, they're the Native Americans. You're in Africa, they're the Europeans. You're in the Congo, they're the Nigerians. It's just how they're just people from another place, right? If they stay on their planet, they get wiped out, then microbiology and bacteria creates a new species. Like, just say, for example, if we make it into outer space, not if. I personally believe we're already there. I think we've been there. And by we, I mean the big banks and the lords and the billionaires and the bankers, the controlling people who always survive the pole shifts and the apocalypse, because we got people too stupid enough to keep cheering for government continuity, not species continuity. I think they always survive because they want to go forward the next Kali Yuga, the next Yuga with a telephone. They want to go forward with a cell phone. They want to go forward and have cars. They want to go forward and have boats, and they rule everything. And this is why I think every time we get reset, each civilization, we label those people the gods. They just want to be the gods. They don't want anything different than what everybody else wants. They want to rule the world. If you give them the opportunity, they will. So I think we're already in space. They're just not sharing that with us. You got a damn UFO on television, which is the most important thing on the planet. I talked to about 10 people this weekend about that. Keep calm, focus on the fact that your government is saying that's not swamp gas. Your government's admitting up that there is a anti-gravity device that's flying around this planet and you're going to work on Monday and you hate work. Focus on that you're actually going to work for busy work, that they don't need you to do that we literally waste all human resources. Humans are a resource and we waste completely inefficiently. And you got to start asking why. Why do we have the most inefficient possible setup designed for societies around the planet? just to keep the lions walking around the cage, just to keep the polar bear playing with the ball, just to keep whoever owns the human zoo entertained and to keep us busy. That's, so it's hard for me to watch it. I need to watch the rest of it because we got to walk people forward into growing up and realizing that NASA's not looking for life, that they're just basically trying to keep you here, right? Like they're a part of the whole mainstream media breakdown, deep state, whatever the hell you want to call it, kings and lords who just simply keep a telephone from you. That's it. That's it. Like the Chimu, like 1833 when they let us know they made the telephone. They just want to keep you here while they're way up here in advance. The same way they keep resources from you, they keep technology from you. It's always about economics and power. Please focus.
Perhaps at least on a microbial level, there used to be perhaps billions of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 billion years ago, there could have been some kind of microbial life, at least on Mars.
And Leroy, how much do we know collectively?
There's a lot more on Mars than that. How do I know? We got religions. There's churches all over this planet. I can't get to an intersection without a church. All right. He's in a science camp. The science camp got to say things from a science perspective and ignore all religion. Religion and science are the same thing. They're both seeking the truth, but they're both doing it in ignorant ways. And it blocks them out of seeing the reality. The reality is all these ancient religions said that all these gods came here. All the gods came here. All the scriptures come from a few original sources from people saying that something came here. You don't actually have to look for life. You just have to use a little common sense. That's all you got to do. A little common sense. All right, let me watch the rest of it.
On black holes, is there any chance that black holes and any of these nucleotide chains that the professor was talking about or other proof of life materials, do you think they could have been consumed by any black hole? So is it lost forever?
Let me pause, because somebody said I stopped the thing on VK, so let me make sure I didn't press the wrong button. Shut him up for a second. Black holes, what is a black hole? I stopped it and I restarted it. I'll stop it and restart it again. What is a black hole? A black hole is just a portion of the ecosystem. It's like a stream system. When you have multiple ecosystems, multiple forests, they have to be connected by something. You have white holes and black holes, they connect. Energy goes back and forth. Energy does, information does, matter does not. And so what does all of that mean? I have no damn idea. How would I know? I have no idea. All we know is that everything's connected by streams and rivers. All ecosystems are interacting and interrelating, and I think it's important that we know how all of that works, not just kings and lords who actually own science and they own the corporations and they own what's allowed to be known on the internet. So there we go. I restarted it. It should be working. I restarted it. It should be working. It should be. I don't know if it is. It should be. I don't know. I have to check out the VK side of it because, there we go. Yeah, it's working again. Let's bring VK back in. Hold on. One moment, please. I might have pressed something. I just got to get better at it. All right. So it's got a new link. And what I'm going to do is take that link, go on over to Facebook. Goodness gracious. This is such a thing. It is such a thing. Let's go on over to Facebook and post the link in the comment of the video that I already posted. Boom! There you go, the second link. There we go. And now we'll bring the live chat back for VK. There they go. And let's bring YouTube back. Here goes Mr. Lion NASA Man. But he's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's not a bad guy. I think he believes what he's saying. That's what I do. Do you think he believes? I think he believes what he's saying. I think he's like your politicians. You know how the politicians, they don't actually read the laws? Because if they read the law, it would be hard for them to lie about what they read. I think that they know exactly what they're doing. It's plausible deniability. Hang on. That's the right screen. There's the right screen. Plausible. If the people in NASA didn't believe the stuff that they were spouting, then it would be a problem. But because they believe it, then it makes sense.
What we know about black holes,
like your politician. You think your politician would go on television and actually tell you? Wait a minute. Hold on. Something right. You think your politician could go on television and actually talk about walls and things like that? Okay, there we go. I'm winking at myself. It works again. Do you think they could go on television and convince millions of people that walls are going to keep them safe unless they believed it? I think there's a plausible deniability. I think that he believes what he's saying. We just have to be smart enough to say, no, that actually doesn't make any sense. All right, there you go. VK's working again. There's a new link.
That anything that goes into the black hole, don't count on coming back out, right? And so, of course, we don't really, like I said, the more we figure out and observe the universe, the less we seem to understand, the more questions we generate. And so never say never. I don't think we don't even come close to fully understanding black holes, but we know a great deal about them. So I don't know if there's a link between this kind of, black holes and this kind of thing, but in the universe, yes, it's always surprising us.
You literally can never know. And real quickly, Leroy, for the record, the viewers out there, I'm sure, are wondering, all the months you've spent out in space, have you ever seen other forms of life?
I have not seen other forms of life. I've seen some strange things, but in each case, they've been explained afterwards as either natural or human-made phenomenon. So, seen some pretty weird things, but definitely all explainable.
I'm gonna answer that for him, and I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, I didn't see some stuff, but I can't tell y'all. If I tell y'all, I'm gonna lose my job. I got food that I need to put in my belly. I got a mortgage. I need a car. And if I actually tell you what's true, which goes against the agreement I signed that I wasn't gonna tell you nothing, then I wouldn't be able to do this job. This is how you break all the scientists, all the bankers, all your politicians, the ministers, the priests, everybody down to the McDonald's burger cooker. When their job is based in saying the lie, they'll say the lie and they'll uphold it. So the reality is, I don't think anybody goes into space and they don't see anything. That doesn't make any sense to me. I suspect that he knows, but he has a job that's based in telling you that this is how the world works, that there is no telephone, that cars don't exist. Fossil fuels are fake news. The Chinese do not have fireworks so they can take them and put them on ships and make cannons out of them. Just how the world's work, it hadn't changed. It's how the world's work from the very beginning. I don't have to actually know what's true. I just know that they're lying. I have no idea what's true. Maybe he hadn't seen a UFO. That's possible too. That's possible. It's not plausible to me. Not plausible. You ever go in the forest and not see no bugs? I literally have never gone in the forest, not unless it's American forest. Because American forests, they kill everything because they spray stuff out the sky and poison it with glyphosate. But for the most part, you go in the forest, you're gonna see some mushrooms, some leaves, some life, some bugs, some bees, some birds, some mosquitoes flying around. Right? Hey, so do I think somebody can go in space and not see anything? No, I think you go up there and see it. You'll listen to your government when they tell you come home. I haven't seen a UFO. It's crazy, man. Did you see that? I was in the shuttle and blah, 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 blah. And your government will say it's swamp gas. You understand that? It's swamp gas, man. And you think about your retirement. You think about the wife at home, the husband at home. You think about, the kids need to go to soccer. The kids need some shoes. They got a field trip coming. You're like, yeah, okay, it was swamp gas. But here we are. Here we are, 60 years later. How long ago was Roswell? 60 years later or something, and now you actually see an anti-gravity craft that's flying around and they're admitting that it's a UFO. And that's why, once again, I'll just simply say, I think it's Space Force. That's my belief. It doesn't really matter if it's aliens or Space Force. All it does is confirm what the ancients all said. The Vimanas were flying around, the gods came from the heaven, and confirms Bob Lazar that these craft fly belly forward. And that's exactly what was in that Navy camera. Free energy is a thing, and we're just being kept in conflict with one another because they deny us the energy and the resources. The conspiracy guru music video about the BS space station is the best thing I've seen. Literally, I wish I could play it. I think it's copyrighted, Patricia. I posted it the other day. But you can post a link here, let people see it. Oh, I loved it. I think it was years old. It's not new. He did that a long time ago. And he doesn't get a lot of press for it because people, I guess they attach it to the flat earth theory. He just basically said the whole world is a stage. And he said, NASA's lying. This is a green screen. You can be anywhere you want. You just have the right green screen, the right amount of lighting. You can see my ear. You can see things don't work right here because I don't have the money NASA has. So, and he posted a few videos. In that video, he posted a few of the NASA videos where you could see the string and you could see the harness. People should know, they should know better not to believe this stuff. If you will fake one video, you can fake them all. I do believe we're in space. I just don't think that they're honest about what's there. I think that they fake a lot of videos to keep us from seeing what's there. And they lie about actually looking for life. Because they're lying. Like if you, let me say it from a principle perspective. If your people believe you, you are a king and a lord. Your people believe every word that comes out of your mouth. And you could lie a little bit. Would you lie just a little bit? If you are a king and a lord and you love power, you come from a 98% monkey species that thrives in having more and hoarding than everybody else, and your citizens always believe what comes from your mouth, what are the odds that you'll only lie about a little bit? I think you'll pretty much lie about anything that's profitable or anything that gains you more profit or more power, because you exist for profit and power. And as long as the people go along with it, you will lie to them. I think that's how it works. If you're a child, it's like, because these evolved survival things, they infect us like an illness. It's like a child. Does your child want more candy or less? Now, hopefully your child doesn't know what candy is, but as a kid, if I could lie more, if I lied to my father, it's like, yeah, Dad, clean my room. Can I have some candy, some cake? If that actually worked, I'd lie every 10 minutes. But my father knew better. He's like, no, you were lying. He'd go check the room. Nope, you can't have no candy and cake. Just how a child would do it. The whole society is childlike. That's what groupthink does for people. When you stop trusting the government, you accept the principle that, everybody wants to rule the world. Government wants more power. Corporations want more money. As long as you're okay with them having secrecy, they're going to take it all. Yes, Susan, they are in total harmony. Every planet does what it's supposed to do. What did I miss? What are we talking about? Let me go back in comments. I've seen some strange things, says Alice and Dorothy. I see strange things, Megs, but mostly I've never seen a UFO. I've never seen aliens. I thought I did once. I haven't, but I know some strange things. I know some strange things, and I have friends who see strange things. I see a government that starves its people of resources intentionally, and so I know they're not governing, and I know they're not telling the truth about space. I have to go on a common sense because I actually haven't seen them. Our ecosystem expands way past our atmosphere. It's a cosmic one. If one planet in the solar system moved, it would affect all others. Real simple, Susan. You just explain climate change, but don't tell other people that. Don't tell them. You explain the fact that everything's always changing. We live in an ecosystem and everything has a relationship. The sun does something affects on the planet down here. Saturn does something, it affects us here. We do something, it affects the moon. Everything is all interconnected. But, I try to, who said that? Susan, I try to get climate changers focused on the fact that, you say fossil fuels cause climate change. They say, yeah. You say fossil fuel cause climate change. They say, yeah. I said, you said, and they changed their mind, right? Because it's not cow farts now. It's fossil fuels, right? They say, yeah, that's causing climate change, burned up the planet. We all gonna die. It's killing the species. We're in the 8th, 9th mass extinction. Okay, so fossil fuels are bad then. Yeah, fossil fuels are bad. Okay, so where are you on war? You know that jets and drones use fossil fuels. Is your government that's helping you, giving a tax to poor people, stop climate change? Are they making any war anywhere? If they are, then I don't think they really believe in climate change. I think you believe, I know you believe, because you out here acting a fool on my timeline, but I don't think they do. And it doesn't mean climate change ain't real. It just means they're lying about the cause of it. They're lying about the reality that the climate always changes. It's always an interrelational connection. The other side doesn't see no damn changes happening, and this side thinks they can tax it to stop. And I just say it's a damn UFO on television. It's a free energy device that will get you off of fossil fuels. So if you agree that fossil fuels are causing climate change, but your government that doesn't believe that, then you should be telling your government you need to release whatever is making that crap fly, and it shouldn't be secret. And to me, that's common sense. The otother side, they don't want to work, right? They want to drink beer, have a few tractor pulls, go hunting, enjoy, going to Walmart or whatever they want to do. Then all you got to do is just say, well, they're keeping you working for nothing. They're keeping you working as busy work. There's a free energy device flying on television, but you can't focus people that way. I think a lot of people are used to the conflict. I think they're used to it and they like the busy work. Trading has been halted as the U.S. stocks plummet. Yeah, all right. U.S. stocks are plummeting. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing, Rebecca. I hope so. Is quarantine the new martial law? I think quarantine's always been martial law, and if the stock markets are tumbling, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. We need a good collapse. I don't think we can fix this without some sort of collapse. I prefer that we feed the people, but you're gonna have to bring some pain to the NATO apathetics. Until you bring them pain, this ain't gonna change. We need a little pain to grow the hell up. There you go, the big NASA puppet show. The whole world is a stage. That is the funniest video I've seen in a long time. Good morning, Kevin. Yeah, cashless. I'm all for cashless, Dylan. I'm all for You know what? I'm gonna say another one. I'm for currency-less. I don't like to say cashless because when I say cashless, people think I mean digital currency. We have no reason for currency. I'm completely against currency in every single way. Why? Because somebody controlling the current. As long as you got currency, somebody's gonna be trolling the current. Medical martial law as expected. Oh yeah, we've had, Patricia, we've had medical martial law for a long time, right? You got shots in your body that you never asked for, that you didn't agree to take, right? That was a violation of natural law a very long time ago. We didn't have body shots for a minute. So we've had medical martial law for a long time. All they're doing is just going a little further with it. They don't bring that vaccine around and shoot everybody up. People are scared, they believe it. They believe that the cuckoo virus is coming for them instead of their government's always using fear porn to get them. It was measles, now it's this. That's all they did. The media, somebody made a good meme about that. You know, all they did was swap out measles for the cuckoo virus and people going cuckoo, right? Everything is about fear and control. It's how they sell papers, and so of course that's what they do. They keep the populace fear. It's a tool. It's a tool that they've always used. All right. Did you know the mustache villain dude in the old Batman cartoon was based on Tesla? Yeah, Megs, I think that somebody pulled my coattail to that because they want to make him the villain. Think about all the people who actually created our world. Let's go back. Because the Chimu are important. They're important. So some dude in the Chimu made a telephone. And instead of like connecting the whole world so the whole world can talk about how the kings and lords are playing everybody in resource conflicts, they denied people that technology. And the Chimu, eventually they murdered them. They got rid of all of them. They totally extinct, burned up all their history, their culture. Well, there's probably some left, but that's what the Spanish did when they got here. And Tesla, he died poor as well. Everyone who designed our world, that created technologies that were world transforming, that freed the people, they stole the technology, they hid it from us, and those people died miserably. That's why I believe in dark forces. I believe there are dark energies and evils on this planet. I believe there's some satanic energy or something, because how would it know it can utilize these technologies for what it does? Unless it just knew a lot more than we do from a scientific perspective. You know, this is the benefit of having a what is that called? They utilize to steal all the patents. If you go out and make something that can be world transforming, they ban it. If it actually frees the people, it connects them all. What is that called? The Inventions Act, right? They have the Inventions Act, and the whole purpose of the Inventions Act is so that you don't free any of the humans in the slave human zoo. You don't create anything. The minute you create it, the DARPA grabs it, the government grabs it, they sit on it to figure out how can they utilize it either against their neighbor or to keep their people in conflict so they can stay in power. The two guys I listen to in the morning are conservative-ish libertarian types. Said that 5,000 people died last month due to the flu. Which flu? People die from the flu all the time, Patricia. I tell people now, you know, how am I preparing for the cuckoo virus? Same way I prepare for the flus every year. Same way I prepare for people who don't know how to drink smoothies and eat lettuce. The same way I prepare for anything that's coming, living in a country that's cultivating the world's most sickest, dangerous diseases known to mankind, helping them mutate to attack me. Eating their Twinkies and shopping at the local Walmart for their produce, eating fast food, taking all the medications in their cabinet, just debilitating their immune system. I do the same thing. I don't shake hands. I wash my hands. I use natural soap. I use natural lotions. I give my immune system less problems. I make my own soap. I drink my smoothies. I'm planting my seeds. I'm getting ready so that my body is strong to deal with it. I'm not worried about the cuckoo flu, the black plague, the Ebola, swine flu, bird flu, monkey flu, whatever the new flu is. I really don't care. The measles, I'm not worried about none of that stuff. I build up my immune system, and my immune system does its job, right? It has a job to do, and it does its job great, or we wouldn't be here. So I'm not worried about the fear. I've not even seen what's going on in closing markets and stuff. But if that's happening, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's my only complaint about Trump is he didn't cancel and shut down the whole NATO sphere of the empire, America. He should have collapsed it. We shouldn't exist. I'm a collapser. We should not exist. I don't believe Nazis are good, and I know NATO's bad. We shouldn't exist. I don't believe in empires. Empires always end horribly. Like, you think about when the empire ends, what do you think's gonna happen to your kids? Suppose you're not here, and you don't have a Walmart-friendly empire. Almost got in an accident this morning because the damn Amazon bus is pulling out the factory. Got to hurry and get your slave-made goods to you. What do you think happens when empires collapse? What if you're not here and you just live the apathetic society of being able to press a button and have something delivered to you from an Amazon warehouse that was stolen from people who live in the land where people Chimu used to live? They always kill their kids and the grandkids. The people upset. They don't like empires. When the empire collapses, they always string your kids up and burn them and cut them up and throw them in. They use them for firewood or throw them on the garden. The Romans, it didn't end well for them. The Huns did not end well for them. At the end of these empires, it always goes bad. To what is that saying? To those given great power goes great responsibility. Somebody fix that quote, because I know I jacked it up. To whom much is given, much is deserved. No, to whom much is given, much is required. That's all you need to know. I was given much. I didn't do this. And the only thing Obama said that was true. He lied the whole time he was on stage. They were on stage reading the script. He lied the whole time. But the one thing he said was true that I'm remembering at this point in time is you didn't do that. I didn't make this shirt. I didn't pick the cotton. I didn't grow it. I bought this shirt, right? Because I got enough slaves in the bank, which is what money is, a representation of human labor, and I purchased this. Some other slaves grew it. Right? I didn't make the internet, but I'm on it. I didn't create none of this. We stood on the backs of giants. I was given all of this. And now I got a lot of responsibility. I don't have as much as what other people have. I live a very modest life. I'm a minimalist. However, I live in a very powerful country, which is why I have a lot of responsibility. And my responsibility are to people all over this planet and people in this world who are being starved to bring more resources for the apathetic in this nation and in other nations who are still propping up the system. That's the only reason I'm upset with Donald Trump is he didn't collapse it. I was hoping he was going to collapse it. He didn't collapse it. All right. Also, peak prosperity. Yeah, there is a peak prosperity in there, Citizen Deb. You get ready to run from some zombies. when prosperity peaks, oh boy, it's going to get interesting. We can feed everybody, or we can wait till we hit that peak and the whole world falls into a collapse-like situation and we all burn. Or people get upset. That's why I think they burn down the neighborhoods. They get upset. Because when you get upset, you don't think about, this is my local hairdresser. I might need to go there next week. You don't think about that. You just upset. You get that trash can thrown through the window, light a fire, throw some Molotov cocktails and flip the hell out. I don't want that kind of collapse. I want a controlled collapse, right? These local governments, start giving your people chickens. Start giving them chickens. The local governments, that might be the only control you have. People have chickens, they don't burn down the local hairdresser. Right? When people have food, they don't act a fool. When they got something to lose, they stay at home and guard them chickens. That's a good way to keep people at home. Give them some seeds, give them some chickens, take out all the regulations, delete every damn law you got on the book. Delete all of them and let people take care of themselves and good things will happen. Also, we are change. We are the change. We are absolutely the change, Hillary. And if we don't change, the earth gonna change it for us because Mama Nature is not your mama. She is a psychopath and she is going to kill you if we don't change. If we don't grow up, that's what Mama do. She's gonna go out there and get that switch called an asteroid. She's gonna get that switch called a pole shift and we're gonna feel her aggression. She is a psychopath. If we don't grow up, she will spank us. She brought us in this earth. She's going to take us out. So where's the coverage of the flu epidemic? We have every single year CDC says 61,000 flu deaths. They don't care about those flus, Patricia. Those flus aren't scaring people. People aren't scared of the regular flu. It kills more of them than the cuckoo flu does. People are scared of the cuckoo flu. So you can't sell papers talking about the normal flu. In order for them to sell papers, they got to talk about the cuckoo flu. Like, that's how it all works and how everything's like complicit. There's no great evil. It's just a system that's out of control. And the news, if you want to be the news right now, you have to be talking about the cuckoo flu because everybody's cuckoo, and the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and the cuckoo for the cuckoo flu. And they're only going to watch the news if you're talking about the cuckoo flu. That's why it's cuckoo. It makes people stupid. It literally does. And the news, and they might want to talk about the war in Yemen. They might want to talk about starving people. They might want to talk about breast cancer. They might want to talk about poisoning the water, the things that are killing more people. They want to talk about the cows. You know, cows kill more people than the cuckoo flu did every year. But we created a system that does not work. It does not work. It has to go away. It seems to be 5G microwave-induced lung injury and pneumonia. They're calling coronavirus, which is just a flu. Oh, Patricia, I'm dubious. I'm dubious on that, Patricia. And this is where one of my friends who knows me says, Gerard, define dubious. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I heard somebody use it. It sounds real intelligent. I'm dubious. I like the word dubious. I'm dubious. I don't, 5G, for me, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest for the most part. I am always honest with you guys. I see no direct link between 5G and the cuckoo flu. I don't see any link. Not a direct link. I see all kind of indirect links everywhere. I've watched all the videos y'all send me and post and everything. There's a connection. There are connections. There's not a direct connection. There are a lot of indirect connections. And I think if there were a direct connection, it wouldn't be allowed on the internet to begin with. So I'm not saying it's not a direct connection. I'm just saying that 5G causes problems for your immune system. Period. Well, 4G did. So we know 5G does. Bottom line, that's science. And immune systems that are having trouble create sicker people. So there's a coordination effort, whether it's intentful or not. I've seen the maps of the 5G towns and the cuckoo virus towns. And from those indirect links, it would make sense that you would have more of a cuckoo flu outbreak in areas that have local Walmarts that sell the produce. It makes sense that you'd have more cuckoo flu around people who, eat out more. It makes sense you'd have more cuckoo flu where the cities are, but it also makes sense you'd have more cuckoo flu where you have electromagnetic wave radiation being blasted into the people from all angles. It would make more sense. It makes sense. I don't see a direct link. But there's enough for me to say we shouldn't have no damn 5G. We should not have no damn cuckoo flu going out of control, and it shouldn't even be on the news. As long as we got regular flu killing more people, it shouldn't even be on the news. All right. Everybody in Palestine. The Parasite. I'm going to talk about Palestine. Patricia Hauser. Everybody in the Parasite class knows just enough to do their own specialized job. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and that's by design. Thank you, Patricia Hauser. This is why people need to listen to you, and you probably need to talk about Michelle Obama penis stuff a little less. I'm just saying, a little less, sis. Just a little. It might, because you say amazingly deep things, but some people can't hear it because they're upset with you. I just laugh because I think it's funny. I wish it was true. I would be upset if she didn't say nothing. I think people should be free and they should have their penises and let everybody know I got a penis, I bought it, or I was born with it, and I had to live a lie my whole life, but here you go. What you're saying is real, right? This is how this system works. People have to believe. It's based in belief. It's a religion. It's a religion. The politicians have to believe. A certain percentage of the politicians have to believe. You can have the few corrupt criminals that just don't believe none of it, but the vast majority have to go on TV and convince people to get out there and vote to change their world. They have to be believable. Your doctor has to be believable. Doctors have that class called, I forgot the name of it. I got doctor friends. What's the name of that damn class y'all got to take to convince the public to believe you, right? They need a dubious They needed dubious citizens who were enslaved and always been enslaved since the beginning of time to believe that these synthetic drugs are actually going to help them. So doctors have to take a class that convince their patients to believe them. It gives them confidence. They have certain keywords and power words and things they're supposed to say. One of my doctor friends was telling me about it. Right? The system works by people believing. It would work. Like your Democrat friends, they're really Democrats. Like they really believe. They really believe the Republicans are what's wrong with the planet. The Republicans, they really believe the Democrats are what's wrong with the planet, you know. And other people, the Republicans, they really believe the immigrants are really taking the jobs. and the liberals, the other side, they really believe that the Russians modified their election system. It's about belief. It's about belief. That's why I think we got to change how we talk to people, because if they're not willing to listen to us, we're not going to get nowhere. You know, we have to. Well, we don't have to. I have to not. I try to talk to people in a way that gets them to see the information. I won't talk about the things that are false in their religion. I kind of avoid them, right? Because everybody has their own religion. Everybody's got their own belief system. And you say something that's out of that, that's a fight. That's not a conversation. All right, I've seen some strange things. Yes, everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Trading has been halted. Yep, we did that. Oh, I'm open. Comment way back in comments. Brother Kevin's in the house. Good morning. And so yeah, they villainized Tesla. He was the villain. You know, just the imagery alone, making the guy look like Tesla, it gives you this demonic image. When you first see a picture of Tesla, you think he's the evil guy, but he pretty much was the guy who created all the world. Oil prices plunge, another good sign. Yes, Rebecca, down with the oil prices. But down, well, I want it all to let it all collapse. It all has to come down, you know, and hopefully let it hover just above apocalypse, where people realize if this whole system was a scam, the whole earth was a stage, and the government was never governing. They're ruling. They're literally starving people and creating suffrage-like conditions to keep people in conflict with one another. The governments don't actually starve their citizens. Governments don't create more suffering. They reduce suffering by the model. They're supposed to. They don't do it because they're not governing us. They're ruling us because they're supposed to rule, because we believe them. Let's see, the climate always changes naturally. What's happening now is climate manipulation and ecosystem destruction for power and profit. And that's very true, Susan, and that's hate speech. That's total hate speech, Susan. That's to a religion. If you're in that climate change religion, that's total hate speech. If you're in that patriot religion, that's total hate speech. You just basically said things that I don't want to believe are true. You just said your God is not a real God. Oh, God. It's all very true. And science tells you that. The ice cores tell you that. But of course, people can't connect the dots. They want to believe. They need to believe their pastors and preachers who are politicians. Geoengineering is on trial in Toronto via Dane Wigington. That's a wonderful thing, Rebecca. Now, that's news. That's news. That's important. If you don't know who Dane Wigington is, please don't talk to me about climate change. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. If you don't know who Dane Wigington is, if you haven't been out to geoengineering.org, you don't know the science behind what's going on. Please educate yourself. Absolutely. That might be a good thing, Rebecca. But I don't believe the laws. I don't think it'll come to anything. The laws are just for poor people. The laws are just for people not in the club. The laws are not for the people who actually run the club. And Dane is not taking on people who are outside of the club. Dane is actually taking on people who are in the club, the people who are actually creating these worldwide conflict zones through manipulation of weather, right? Those people they're not subject to American laws. They don't really care. They don't watch the election system. They don't know who's running and they don't care. They buy the people. And if they buy the people who write the laws, they are not subject to any of those laws at all. Like somebody was saying, what's her name? The lady who got caught with the stock trading, they put her in prison. Martha Stewart. Like, they just offer those up for us. They just offer those up to give us a sense of illusion that the laws apply to wealthy people. And we clap. We're like, yeah, they got Martha Stewart. It's the legal system. Justice, justice, justice. It's like, no, it's just you. There's no justice. It's just us. It's not them. They give us that illusion that things are good and they're actually fighting crime. And they're not fighting crime. There's only one crime, and that crime is a violation. Anything that's a violation is a crime. If you are a government, and which all of them do, except for Bhutan, best I know, and you're withholding resources from your people, you're the criminal. You're the root criminal because all crimes stem from you. All right. On Contact. I like Chris Hedges. Righty to right-wing populists in India. Okay, we can look at that. That would be interesting. Julian Assange's father, former UK MP, react to extradition trial. Could be something. Surreal 50-puck challenge. Don't get dizzy. Why Syria ceasefire makes Washington anxious. All very difficult topics because I'm not in Syria. I'm not in India. You know, they like to lie to me what's in the news. They like to give me what's fantastic, like cuckoo virus. The truth is always boring. The truth is not amazing and fantastic and click-worthy, clickbait-worthy-ish. Shaking sugar and inventing things that are fantastic, that's what's going to make it in the news. Graduate students on strike in California. Oh, that could be interesting. Why? Why they're on strike? Because the massive corporations are burning the planet. They have to go work for them. Are they on strike because they realize their parents are stupid and creating a conflict-based society and they don't want a conflict anymore? Are they on strike? Why are they on strike? I want to see why they're on strike. Can we look at that? I'm so dubious about the California government. Is that Bo? Bo fine? One of my smart friends. I learned a new word, dubious. I'm dubious on the California government.
University of California graduate students, they are fighting back against the university system after being fired for striking. RT correspondent Natasha Sweet has those details now from Los Angeles.
Graduate students at UCLA voted to strike Thursday, standing in solidarity with those who were fired at UC Santa Cruz for withholding grades. 54 UC Santa Cruz teacher assistants were dismissed Friday for withholding grades. The university implemented a strike deadline for February 21st for TAs to turn in students' grades. In this notice of intent to terminate, UC Santa Cruz cites abandonment of job responsibilities as the basis for firing. UC Santa Cruz students are striking, saying the cost of living is too high. They're asking for a cost of living $1,412 monthly raise. That's in addition to their $2,400 pre-tax income earned for 9 months of the year. The university offered a one-time stipend of $2,500 as a retroactive housing supplement for all MFA and doctorate students.
Okay, I'm not interested. The cost of living is too damn high. I agree with that. But you should have no cost to live. You're a human being. We are sentient creatures. We all should have consciousness. It shouldn't cost anything for you to live. You literally should not have. That's not a government. Governments don't set up costs of living. Governments don't set up debt for their people to be born and to use them as slaves. If you want to strike, you need to fight from a principled perspective. And I think fighting to get more money is stupid. Right? The cost of living is too high because we're being scammed. There's not enough money because they don't print enough money, right? But you have to actually read the laws to see how that works. I'm not so interested in that. Besides the fact, to whom much is given, much is required. And if you're given enough to have a college education, I think you should be able to read and understand that Confessions of an Economic Hitman and Wars of Racket explain to you that you should not be going to a university to get a job to join the matrix, to join the system. The system should be collapsed. This was the doctor you were looking for, G? Question mark. I'm not sure. What doctor? Was I looking for a doctor, Carolyn? Was I looking for a doctor? I don't have a doctor. I don't like doctors. I'm not a doctor. I love doctors, but I like them as people. I don't like their craft. I don't like their witchcraft. I don't like their synthetic witchcraft. They kill people. They rise across the healthcare. Half the time, more than half the time, they have no idea what they're talking about. I never ask my doctor anything because I don't have one. And I'm extremely healthy because I don't have one. So I'm not sure what doctor. Was I looking for a doctor? I wasn't looking for a doctor. And then when I get sick, I look for herbalists, Carol. when I get sick, I post it on Facebook and my hippie friends respond, tell me what to do. And I haven't done that since Facebook got created, which is why I probably was MySpace. Because I stopped having a doctor since then. Well, I was looking for a doctor. What happened? This virus thing is BS. Well, Lori, I wouldn't say it's BS. I would say that the media hyping it's BS. I would say the media hyping. I think there's a virus. I think there's a real virus. I just don't think it's as important as they want it to be. I don't think it's as big and damaging. I think they're trying to sell newspapers, and everybody at every level, you know, there might be a higher need that they're using to depopulate people or control people or get them to buy Home Depot paper masks to fight bioweapons. I have no idea. Maybe they want to sell more aluminum and tinfoil so we all can make hats and be safe. Maybe they want to sell more bamboo so we'll plant it around our house for 5G. I just see capitalism everywhere, and I see everybody, not capitalism, I don't want to say that, I hate saying that. Capital systems, which includes communism and socialism. I just see everybody at their own little level trying to get what they need. In the newspapers, they just want to compete. So they have to promote the virus. They got to get more people scared of the cuckoo virus. And whoever scares the people most sells the most papers. Whoever scares the people the most, whoever says the most scary thing, whoever succeeds the boogeyman, that's going to be the most profitable paper for that period of time. We created this system. So yeah, I won't say that the virus is fake. But the media hype, which I know that's what Lori's saying. The media hype, they're just hyping it far too much. Expected, I think, question mark. Well, one, Wuhan rolled out after the 5G, and half the people in Wuhan started fainting, like they couldn't breathe, which is a good point. Absolutely, Sister Patricia, I agree with that. And that tells you that between 5G and the flu out there, something ain't right. I give you that. And then a couple of stories have shown coronavirus CT scans look like pneumonia and CT scans. Okay, I haven't seen those, Patricia, but that makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't have a direct link. I can't say I guarantee that it's their, 5G caused it. I know 5G makes every virus work. 5G's making all the flu viruses worse right now. 4G's doing that. And I think those two together are enough for people to say, you know what? We need to hold up on this. And so that's kind of where I stop on that. Dana Shield came to the conclusion that it was G connected, certain percent connected, dry pneumonia before any of the other came out, I think. Well, you know what? And the other thing, Patricia, is if there is a direct link that shows that it is as nefarious as what people say, Cisco, Siemens, and Huawei will put enough money to have it wiped from the internet. Because they have the money, they're the controllers. Ebola, swine flu, etc. It's all the same thing, yep. Refuse to live in fear. They do this virus thing every few years. Yes, they do, Lori. It's just the next thing to be scared of, which is why I'm not even concerned with it. It makes money, and that's always the goal. Money and control. That's it, Christine. Money, power, control, economics, how the world works. If it's making money, gains power, somebody's going to be doing it. Let me see. Indeed, become fearless in a common sense way. That's it, Christine. Have your own common sense. Think for yourself and don't be scared. Don't keep running from the boogeyman. If you keep running from the boogeyman, they're going to create more boogies. And I think we need less boogies in the world. And we have to run from whatever they're scaring us about in the news more. You know, when you show you're not scared anymore, then we'll actually get to see the real world a little bit. Ooh, must see, breathtaking new look at Mars. I'm curious. I'll bite.
So if you think that your latest pics on your new smartphone are pretty impressive, well, folks, we are about to one-up you. NASA took some snapshots on Mars, and they're pretty out of this world. RT's Alex Mihailovich has this story.
A panorama like nothing on Earth. This is Mars. And modern technology is helping us see the red planet like never before.
Oh, yeah.
NASA's Curiosity rover has captured its highest resolution image ever of Mars.
And by they mean by high technology, it means the guy at NASA is not turning up the red filter. Did y'all see the whistleblower saying that when they first showed the first pictures of Mars, it looked like Earth, it had the same color scheme, and they went and they cranked up the red to make it look like it was dry and red and dead. Anybody noticing that Mars ain't red as it used to be? That's not the Mars I grew up on. Mars is actually looking more and more Earth-like. You can almost see a depression. See where the depression is right there? It almost looks like it's bluish. It looks like Earth. That's what the Brooking report said, is that if they ever go to the moon and to Mars, They can't show anybody life. So they cranked up that red filter. And then there's a guy, I think he went into the NASA control room and cranked it down. It looked just like Earth, and they cranked it back up and released it to the public.
Composed of over 1,000 shots, the composite contains over 1.8 billion pixels, giving us a clear view of the Martian landscape. The rover's massive.
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying this. So now they're gonna show you the aliens. It's time to scare people. Same reason that you see UFOs on TV. They're finally showing you the resolution that they had 40 years ago. 40 years ago. They're now just showing you. Why? Because they need to scare you. Fear. It's the same reason cuckoo virus. Project Bluebeam. They need you to be scared of the aliens. I think now we're going to see something. I think now with the high resolution, we're finally going to see the dinosaurs. We're going to see something. It's going to be Bigfoot. Somebody going to be on Mars. Oh my God, take my rights and my resources. Help me. And meanwhile, the aliens, and the only reason they came here was to give you religion and some science and math and agriculture. But that's why they're showing. They never can. There's no reason for government to give you information that has total privacy, other than for control. Everything they do, they're a system. They're not bad guys. They're not evil guys or anything. They're just a system. If it gains them power, they'll do it. If it gains them profit, they'll do it. And so I think they got to start exposing people to some scary things in space to get them to work harder, to get them to, I don't know, agree to lose another $20 trillion at the Pentagon for Space Force. They got to scare people. You don't get a Space Force unless you got to scare people. And right now, people aren't scared of space. They look up like, I thought you told me it was talcum powder up there and nothing. Right? You can't have a Space Force. I think China trolled us. I think China got to space before America, and they're going to beat America out to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers control systems, and they're going into space. And that's why you got that U.S. general trying to get everybody ramped up on Space Force. And now you have to start showing people the real world, which is you live in the ecosystem. There's a whole lot out there, and you need your government to protect you. You need to work harder. You got to pick more cotton. You got to give them your resources so they can make a Space Force to protect you from things that they've been hiding from you since the very beginning. Alien bacteria. You'll probably see a giraffe on Mars soon. It's just an ecosystem. It's just an ecosystem, and the world is a stage. It's the time in the stage chapter. It's that time to scare the audience. Right? Got to scare the audience so because people were getting up, going to concession stand. It's kind of like a boring part of the world, and being a stage, and they were going to get popcorn, going to use the bathroom and stuff. Oh, we got to make it exciting again. They're not going to pay more. They're not going to watch the rest of the show unless we make it exciting. So I think they're going to show us a little something now. I think it's hilarious. I think this is hilarious. I like Del Bigtree's take on the cuckoo virus. Same as Gerard and my own. Absolutely, Lori. And I'm gonna be honest. I got it from Del Bigtree. None of this is mine. None of it's original. I listen to Del. He's the only one I listen to he's the only doctor. He's the only medically trained professional doctor that I listen to at the top. There might be like 5 or 6 others. The few doctors I know, I'll trust a little bit because I know they know me, they know my kids, and I'll trust what they say. But to trust a stranger danger doctor? No, I don't trust none of them. I got booted off here. Oh, did you, Carolyn? You must have posted something important. Many false prophets. Yes, they are. Many false prophets. But I think this is great. I think we're going to see something on Mars soon.
Mastcam used a high-res telephoto lens and a lower resolution.
Y'all remember the rodent that they found on Mars? Y'all remember that? They found a rodent on Mars? Let me see if I can find a picture of that. This is where you're going to vindicate all the Mars anomaly people. The ones who are, that's a roach. That's an insect. That's a pyramid. The Mars anomaly folks. Y'all know them? The anomaly hunters. Let me see if I can find some interesting anomalies. We didn't listen to them. There are a whole bunch of websites. You got these people finding all this stuff on Mars, and now you got high resolution. This gonna be off the charts now. Oh, they're gonna scare the hell. They're gonna show you the rat and the muskrat and the people and the statues. We gotta get ready to defend ourselves from aliens. This is the pyramid right here. What is that? I don't know what that is. I thought that was the pyramid. They didn't found, where's the alien? Where's the alien? Where's the Mars anomaly alien? There was like an alien bug that was on a crevice, on a crack somewhere. Well, yeah, they've been finding Mars anomalies. Looks like spaceships blew up, pieces of technology, squares, right? Oh, this was a good one. The floating rock. You see the floating rock? They found a floating rock. Or it could be a shadow. I don't know. Could be helium-4 is all over the moon. So how come helium-72 can't be on Mars? They found things that don't make any sense. We're gonna find. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. Do you see this? Are you seeing this? As it looked like a statue that fell over. I see the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Look like a turtle on his chest. Look at that. That's it. That looked like a statue that fell over and eroded. I think they're gonna start showing people stuff. They're gonna start scaring people. Why? Because scared people pay more taxes. Oh, look at this. I haven't looked at these in a while. Like, you look at that and it's like, oh my God. I think that's something. I think it's something from the perspective that I don't trust the government with secrets. Not that I actually think it's something. I think it, because you know why? Hey, we went for a hike this weekend. My kids and I, we went to Conowingo Dam. Oh, beautiful place. If you're ever in the area. It's on the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania, has the largest population of bald eagles in the area. So we hung out down there, and there was like an eroding part of the cliff where water was like carving into the cliff. And of course, there were some rocks that were perfectly square shaped. Yeah, nature does make squares. And I had to admit to my son, because his daddy don't know everything. I told him, I said, you know how dad, I said, you know how dad used to say that, yeah, nature don't make squares? I said, look right there. It was a rock. It was because it looked like the sediment layers made it flat and it turned over in the side. I guess in time, water went down through it and spliced it in half, and it was like a perfect square. Nature makes squares. But for the sake of my government can't have any secrets, and the corporations that are making money through NASA and all these other means. No, here's one right here. Look at that. That's what it looked like. That's actually exactly what it looked like right there. You know, very close. Yeah, nature does make some. Nature makes some amazing, crazy shapes. But I will use that narrative. Like, I'll go along with the flat earth people and everybody else, the black goo people, the nanotechnology, because government can't have any secrets. And at the end of the day, I really don't know. I really don't know. You can't have secrecy anymore. The planet is too small for secrets. Like, look at this crazy stuff. You're gonna start getting some high resolution pictures. Get ready for some fear, y'all. They're gonna find all kinds. They're gonna find Russians on the moon. Wait, they're gonna find Nazis. They're gonna find anything that NATO can get you scared of. They're gonna find it on the moon and on Mars. It's gonna scare the hell out of you. And you're gonna send them your resources, send them your rights, and send them your taxes. You're gonna work harder. Like, look at this. Come on now. That's natural. That's a piece of sheet metal. That's a piece, and it doesn't mean that it's aliens. It could be Russian. They send up most probes they send up, they don't tell you about. NASA is for fake news. NASA, they'll tell you about some of the probes. They don't tell you about all of them, you know, but mostly it keeps secret the military space programs probes. Oh, Patricia Housing, she knocking it out. She posting some links for y'all. I need to click on them too. She always got some good information. The sky isn't falling. Schools and colleges are closing. Oh yeah, I know that, Rebecca. I think my son's college closed. He's scared of the cuckoo virus. My son, he ain't scared of it though. Unfortunately, he grew up with me. He's like, yeah, I'm drinking my smoothies, Dad. I was like, are you getting colds and flus out there? He said, nope, not getting the cold or the flu. You still not getting sick? Nope, I still don't get sick, don't get headaches. I said, all right, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. You prepare for the flu the same way you prepare for every single flu. There's no difference about this one except for it kills less people than the regular flu. That's the only thing you need to worry about. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. This is going to get you. This one will get everybody. This one right here. I need to pay more taxes right now. Wait, where the IRS at? Damn it, I need to pay. I feel like, because it's going to scare. They're going to scare people. They're going to put Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger going to be on Mars. All right. We didn't finish. Yes, that's interesting to look at it. But life is everywhere, people. Aliens are just the people that are up there. That's all they are. Now they're just ready to show you.
Medium angle lens.
Ready to treat you like a part adult.
Were taken over 4 days during the 2019 Thanksgiving holiday and were assembled over the past few months. These impressive images are of Glen Torridon, a region that the Curiosity rover is exploring on Mars. The high-resolution photography allows scientists to zoom in and explore details far in the distance, like this huge crater, which scientists believe was created by a massive impact. The images have uncovered clues to where lakes and streams may
like trolling NASA. I love NASA to death. The problem is one of my good friends was a whistleblower from NASA. And I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. That's the problem. My father worked on spectral analysis and satellite imaging, and that was a problem too, because I realized that we had this resolution back when I was a damn kid in the early 80s. Question, logic. Like I said, I'm not here to tell anybody how to think. I'm here to show you how I think, which was given to me by other smart people. You think for yourself. You process information and you figure it out for yourself. Curiosity team released highest resolution panorama of Mars. How long has Curiosity been on Mars? Why are they releasing it on 3/9/2020? Okay? North American Space Agency supposed to work for you. They're supposed to be your employees. What if you hired some fry cooks at McDonald's and they've been making fries for 20 years and they just gave you some fries 20 years later? Common sense, just common sense. Real simple. It's real simple. You know, these people work for you. The NASA's here to go find life on Mars, and it helps by not showing you the high resolution pictures for 20 years. Obviously, because they didn't want you to see what was in those images, or they needed to clean the images up and hide it from you. But I think odds are now they're just ready to scare people to get them to work harder, even though free energy is a real thing. That's what I think. What does Susan say? Somebody say Susan said something deep. Let me see. Engineers from aliens. What do you mean by that, Dillip? Engineers from aliens. I think we get a lot of engineering from aliens. I think we get a lot of engineering from ancients. I think we get a lot of engineering from people that they shove in basements and forced to work on their technology. And DARPA, I think we get a lot of engineering things from the patent office because they steal them from the citizens, and the citizens need to sell the inventions to put food in their belly. We're corrupt. We're dirty. We are dirty and corrupt as the day is long and deep. People still vote for it, so it's going to get worse. I'm sure Trump will take credit for getting Wall Street back on its feet in time for the election. Probably, Lori, because that's what people want. People need more. They need more slavery jobs, so they need Wall Street back on its feet. People need more slave-made goods and cotton stolen from all around the world, and slave plantations and rubbers, and stealing from people who can't defend themselves because we're cowardly and we're cowards and we don't want to go actually face people. We blow them up from space. So people will cheer for it. They'll cheer for it and they'll vote harder. and they'll get deeper and deeper enslaved. Probably we'll find a spot on Earth that is identical to the same to that spot on Mars. I don't think there's any different from Mars and Earth. I think, Rebecca, Earth and Mars are no different. I think we're just in different states of evolution, and Mars had life. Now it's time to be far from the sun, and eventually we're gonna get wiped out and Mars will have life again. And it could be Mars. You know what, Rebecca? I bet you life is on Mars right now. I don't think it's on Mars. I would bet you life is probably on, because we know bacteria can live in those conditions, but most of it's under Mars. I think the intelligent life went underground. And that's where I think most civilizations live, in space. Because suns get moody and they get big and small. Super flares. How do they get pictures of the probes? Oh, goodness gracious. Somebody said, Susan said something deep. I'm trying to read what y'all are saying. I'm out here running my mouth. I can sit and run my mouth all day. Ooh, y'all talking about Antarctica? What did Susan say? This ain't gonna last too long. All right. Let me see. All right. Nanotech pixels to keep us in fear. Nanotech pixels to keep us in fear. Absolutely. I'm not even sure what nanotech pixels are, but if it'll scare me, I'm kind of scared because I don't know what it is, Karen. It's a little scary. I'd pay more taxes. I did, because the nanotech pixels. I don't know what they are. I don't think they should exist. Hopefully more folks will turn to homeschooling. I know they will, Rebecca. I don't think they have a choice. I think the school systems will collapse, in which it'll be a great thing. Then we'll reboot and we'll go back to raising kids that are critical thinking instead of kids who just want better jobs to beat out the other poor people because they can get a better education and steal more of the resources that are given out in scarcity to everybody. Parroting contrived conspiracies as a reaction to the mass media indoctrination is just a problematic. Gullible is gullible regardless of its source. All right, let's read through both comments there. Parroting contrived conspiracies as a reaction to mass media indoctrination is just as problematic. Gullible is gullible regardless of its source. I agree with you both, Aunt, because I know you're smart. I have no idea what you're saying, though. You got me on that. I think there should be no parroting. I think there should be no parroting at all. I think if it's already been said, it doesn't have to be said again. Makes sense to me. Contrived conspiracies as a reaction to mass media indoctrination. I don't think anybody should ever react to the media. I don't think the mass media is definitely indoctrinated. Nobody should ever react to it. I'm like going through the comment and qualifying it. Nobody should react to the mass media. You react, you're a fool. You react to anything that's on television, there's something wrong with you. They literally put things on television for you to react. I don't think there are any conspiracies that have to be contrived. I think everything is a conspiracy. I think when you have a capital system that runs the entire planet and they only print enough money for the billionaires and they make sure that the poor people don't have enough, everything's a conspiracy. I think the very model of our society is conspiracy, which is why it's weird, like the CIA created the word conspiracy theory. You live in the conspiracy model. Everything is a conspiracy. Anything within the conspiracy model is a conspiracy theory. So, but I think what both, if I'm not mistaken, what both are saying is the world is a stage. And if you're in the audience, and whether you're going along with the whole react super alt on one side or react super mainstream on this side, that you're still reacting. You're still watching. The world is a stage. You're still watching the show. You're still eating that popcorn and getting scared. And so if I'm understanding what Beaufont's saying, right, don't react. Don't react. We don't actually know what's true. Like, all the conspiracy theories are interesting. I have my favorite, but don't react. Don't get too excited about it, because they literally could be putting conspiracy theories out there just to control the opposition. Don't react. I fall back on the principle. Government shouldn't have any secrets. Corporations shouldn't have any secrets. The planet is literally coming to an end. Not the planet, but the world, our world, is coming to an end. We are all going to die, along with every major mammal on the planet and most of the fish, if we continue to let governments have secrets who control all sides of all oppositions. No secrecy. I think that's what he's saying, basically. That's my understanding of it. No fears, we're all gonna die, just looking for what is real while alive. That's it, Rebecca, and that's the world we need to hand to the kids. We need to hand to the next generation, and hopefully the end of ours, or now, no more secrecy. We need to hand them a world where honesty is in public. Right now, we have nothing honest in public. Everything in public is controlled. And when people have honesty, they can make good decisions. When people are lied to or given part truth, they're just gonna do what the controllers need them to do. They're just puppeting us like they're puppeting the politicians. There's a missing planet just past Mars. That's my imagination. That my imagination ponders. Carolyn, literally, there are planets all out there in our solar system that we know nothing about. Like, when you look at how planets get created, which kind of makes sense to me in terms of science and astrophysics, where you've got all of the dust all around a sun. And it all starts to collect at certain levels, the bigger pieces, because there's something about mass that creates gravity, or there's something about mass that pushes gravity down to it, and it collects all throughout, and it creates planets all throughout. Well, you can go out as far as, I think it's the Oort cloud, if I'm not mistaken, and you have different zones where different planets get created. I mean, they only show us, 8, 9? They're only showing us those. There are planets all throughout. There could be 100 planets around our sun. And one, they're not telling us, we wouldn't know. I think it would be an admission that they're actually flying out there, probably, if they did. If you look at, like, let me see if I can find a picture of the Oort cloud. Like, if you just look at it, and I'm just reasoning through stuff. I reason through stuff. I don't know if it's true. But if you look at how planets are created, let me see the Oort cloud, see if I can get a breakdown of it. There are asteroid fields everywhere, and there's dust, and here we go. This might work. right here. Right, the Oort cloud. I mean, that goes out far beyond. There you go. That's a pretty decent picture on it. Far beyond, and beyond the Oort cloud is another cloud, right? There's different levels up to a point where you got another sun that pulls in all the dust and particles closer to it, and it creates planets. And so there are planets all throughout. And so you're going to have all kind of elliptical planets, planet X's, Nibiru's, major asteroids and comets, things that kind of come through and flip out and flat back. But they only show us a small percentage of the truth, because there's no reason for them to tell us everything that's true. But I think they're out there exposing. And so the odds are that there are planets that are far out in the Oort cloud that actually warm up when our sun goes through that super expansion period. Anything's possible. You know, anything's possible. Assuming all that science is true, which I kind of think it is. In a month or two, wait a minute. In a month or two, cuckoo will be a distant memory. Yes, it will, Lori, because you'll have something new. You'll have something new to scare the people. It'll be Freddy Krueger on the moon. Just like they do with the UFOs and fake patents. Absolutely both fine. Everything is controlled. Everything is controlled. Don't flip out. Remain calm. Don't react. Free the people. Free the information. When people have access to real information, what's true, then we can make better decisions based in principles and philosophy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Lori. Live the best way you can, loving and sharing. That's what you do, Christine. Love people, share with people, because whatever that big G God thing is, that's what it believes in. It's a creator that creates creations that are sustainable and that work well together. It's not a creator that creates creations that tribalize up against other poor monkeys to fight them and steal their resources, right? And I think that's the difference between the big G God and the little G gods. The big G God obviously it's not too interested in what the monkeys are up to. Little G gods want to create kingdoms the same way the lords and kings do. They want to tell you, they want to convince you they know what's true. Just try to get you to go and fight other people. Why would a big G god be worried about it? Like that's where a lot of my thoughts float nowadays is what is big G God and what is it interested in? Because every time I look at someone from a religious background, religious perspective, and they're telling me what God wants, it doesn't seem like that's what God would want. It seems like that's what a little G God would want. I don't think a big G God wants your worship. My mind's not changed. I don't know why a creator of universes and dimensions and galaxies and solar systems gives two damns about what I'm doing. I don't know why it would want me to worship it. If it can create me, then why would it want my worship? Why would it want me on my knees? It makes no sense to me. I know why kings want that, because I might have a sword and I might stab them. So the kings want me to bow and worship them the same way that the DNC and GOP want to be worshiped, the same way that the presidents and prime ministers want to be worshiped. It gains them more power. You can't give a big G God more power. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, the more I think I've learned, the more I realize I don't know. I just have sources and info I trust more than others. See, this is the problem with Deborah. Deborah, that's hate speech. That's wrong with Deborah Chandler. She's saying intellectual things that used to be common sense. The more I learn, the less I know. Like that's literally our existence on this planet. The more we think we know, every 10 years we realize how little we actually knew 10 years before. If you are truly becoming intelligent, you're realizing we know less and less and less and less. And Deborah, I think that's a great model because it makes us humble if we're honest. If you know an honest person, every day they get more and more humble because they realize they really don't know as much as they thought they knew. They get more and more humble. I'm seeing people getting humble, discovering consciousness, and I'm seeing people getting arrogant. And the problem with that, Deborah Chandler, is politics is exactly the opposite of what you're talking about. Politics isn't about convincing people you're humble and you just don't know. We need to be careful and cautious. Politics is about convincing people, I know, I'm God, here's the deal. This is what's gonna fix everything. We're gonna put a wall up. We're gonna give you universal basic income. We're gonna give you I'm gonna give you treats. I'm gonna give you shiny things, your monkeys. I'm stealing it from people all over the world to pay for it, but I'm giving you things and it has to work. It's gonna work. Now get out there, cheer, vote, put a button on, put a bumper sticker on, put one of my yard signs up. You have to know. And I just think we don't know. I mean, that's me, Deborah. And I'm glad that you believe that. The more I read, the more I research, the more I realize, wow, we really don't know half as much as we think we do. We need to proceed with more caution. We're being controlled more. We need to, like Beaufont said, we need to react less. Laugh more, react less. Sense more people, react less. When it's in our face, Debs, unfortunately, we live in a deceptive world. Total deception, Lori. Total deception. That's why I can't side against anybody. Everybody's on my side, or from my perspective. I'm on everybody's side, all the identities. They're all my cousins all over this planet, and they need to know what's true, and I need to know what's true, so we can all make some good decisions together and stop playing this gaming matrix systems of nations and religions and keeping resources from people to keeping them mentally ill and in conflict. All form comes from mind. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. The Big Bang comes from thought. That's the problem with Rebecca Costello. That's hate speech. She's saying that you're gods and goddesses. She's saying that your thoughts create creations that create creations, and that you are actually a part of the one energy that created all of this. That thought actually manifests what happens. And unfortunately, science is backing up what she's saying. But it's still hate speech to the NATO group. It's hate speech, and so it'll be blocked online.
Our Curiosity has laid down plenty of tracks.
Yes, it has.
This is the first time that Curiosity has produced a stereo 360-degree panorama shot.
That is hilarious. It's the first time. But you paid for the Curiosity. That's yours right there. It's the rover right there. Who's that? Citizen Deb. It's got your name right on it. You paid for you paid for the scarcity, and all the people died to put the thing up there, and they now just showing you pictures 20 years later. That's hilarious. For the first time.
Still has...
Yeah, everybody clap. Yeah, for the first time we get to see the images that they've had for 20 years. Why? Why? They didn't have the internet for just as long as they didn't have the damn thing up on. Because they're controlling you. Control. They control the information, so they control what you do, when you'll do it, why you do it, what you know, because they're scared of your intellectuality. They're scared of your intelligence. They're scared of you. And I think that's where what brings me a lot of hope is they're still making behavioral decisions, proving they're scared of the people. They're scared people might wake up. They're scared of conscious people. They're scared of giving people truthful information, so they withhold it for 20 years. That's a good sign. Eat, drink, be merry, live your best life for tomorrow. We are going to die. Exactly, Lord. It's all you can do. Say what's true. Know that nobody can kill you. You never die. You're just energy. You transform into a different form and you come back. Yes, Gerard, I'm honest. And as we know, a bit too honest some days. Yeah, you can be too honest, you get blocked. That's what... When you're a bit too honest, it's hate speech. When you're a bit too honest, when you try to help anybody, you're Nikola Tesla. You need to die poor. And that's how this system works. That's why the system is the problem. Not the politicians, not the politics. The system is broken. Doesn't matter who you put in it. There's always it doesn't matter who rules the world. As long as someone rules the world, they will be a violator. They will violate. As long as someone owns resources, they will dull them out to the people, and only enough so that they can stay in power. We'll know more when our absolute need to know is less. We will know more. We will know more when our absolute need. Dang it, I gotta go read. I gotta read Beaufort comments a few times because he's speaking code. We will know more when our absolute need to know is less. That's interesting. That's like Kung Fu. Beaufort speaking Kung Fu, right? When we stop demanding to know more, we'll know more. When we back away, when we walk away, when we stop playing the Chinese finger game. And I kind of agree. Like when we play that Chinese finger trap, the harder you pull, the more that information and knowledge and what you want is pulled from the other direction. And so you got your fingers are trapped in it. And the only way to get out of that trap, because the trap was designed, the world you live in is designed, the currency and economic-based systems are all designed. Then when you stop pulling and you just walk away because you don't care anymore, the system collapses. Because the whole system is fantasy. The whole system is designed to entrap you. The harder you fight, the more you entrap yourself. The only way to get out of the Chinese finger trap is to let go. And that's where laughter comes. I think you have to laugh through a lot of this.
There's lots of work left to do. Hopes are that it will help unlock more secrets on the Red Planet before it retires. For News with Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, it unlocked a lot of secrets, and we only probably know about 5% of them. We agree, it's good for the kings and lords to get the information first, let them make their decisions, and then they pass it down to us monkeys. All right. Shield of Europe, Greece fortifies border amid immigration crisis. Okay, well, you wouldn't have any immigrants if you stopped blowing up nations and stealing their resources and putting them at the Harrods. What's it called? Harrods? Well, it's not Greece. I'm sorry, that's London. They stop stealing people's resources and stop blowing up their nations, putting in puppet governments, and they stop migrating to your country. It's that simple. You don't need a wall. You don't need barbed wire fences. You don't need ice. You don't need guns. You just need to leave people alone. And they stay in their own country. Nobody wants to come to your house because they don't like your house. Your house stinks. They don't like your culture. They don't like your language. They want to stay at home. And they stay at home when you stop putting in puppet governments to steal their resources for big corporations. Colonization never stopped. It's the same thing as always been. That's old. That's not new. It's old. Grow the hell up and realize how the world works. Cuckoo virus, porn exists because, of course, Patricia might like this one. She don't like her. But she's calling cuckoo virus. Planted. I already got my tomatoes, my basil, my stevia, all the things I'm growing this year. I'm growing a bunch of stuff. I got a lot of lemon plants this year. I got calamansi. I got all kind of things that I'm growing this year. I got jackfruit. I got papaya, and it's like, but it's still frozen in Pennsylvania. Well, it's gonna be 70 degrees a day. But you plant based on what you need to do. I started my garden in January, indoors, and then they get to go outdoors. I got to reply to her, nope, it's too late. You need to buy from Walmart. Need to buy from Walmart, get the glyphosate organic produce, and then get the cuckoo fluid. Nah, I'm gonna tell the truth.
You might have heard a lot about the coronavirus these days because it's all over the news. I'm sure you've heard about the whole mask thing, how people are buying them up and there's shortages, and sellers are jacking up the prices, and how health workers can't get enough of them. And also how they won't even protect you anyway. They're only helpful if you have the virus and don't want to spread it. But somehow the masks is a big part of the story. So are the quarantines, of course. People stuck in hotels, people stuck on cruise ships, people scurried off of planes into makeshift health facilities. China made a hospital in just 10 days. Whole provinces are under lockdown. People across Europe being told not to travel. Even the Pope might have it. Yes, it's been coronavirus madness all over the news. But I'm not interested in any of those stories. No, the story I'm interested in is all that sweet, sweet coronavirus porn. Yeah, that's right. People are making coronavirus porn because of course they are, according to Vice, because of course Vice is on the porn store.
Oh, see, I thought they were talking about like coronavirus porn. You know how like you say Oprah porn? The people that take that nasty piece of nasty slug thing and like make pictures out of it. Are they talking porn? Like people getting sick and they're doing, oh, well, okay. I'm not sure we can show this one.
They detail sexy videos where lone healthcare workers in hazmat suits stumble around abandoned medical facilities trying to help any survivors, when suddenly they stumble across sexy ladies in hospital gowns who are horny and want to have sex. Coronavirus be damned!
We're all gonna die.
You can just imagine all the scenarios, can't you, with your dirty little mind? All the masks and medical equipment and tables. All those scenarios already exist in porn videos, just for sickos like you. According to Vice, a search for coronavirus on Pornhub returns a whopping 112 videos. Some of the titles include MILF in Coronavirus Quarantine Gets Hard F'd for Medicine, and Coronavirus Patients F in Quarantine Room. And that's not all. Not only are people making coronavirus porn videos, porn sites are offering free premium accounts to people who are severely affected by the virus so that they can have some form of comfort while under lockdown. Some say
that makes sense, is to get a free porn account so you can spread more biologicals in the water system. What the hell is wrong with you? We are so a disaster capitalism. Ain't nothing wrong with it. When you create a society and everybody needs capital, they're gonna capitalize on any disaster. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Like the people had, did y'all see the people having monkey sex on the top of the pyramid? Two people, some people say now that he faked it, that they faked it. They climbed to the top of the pyramid and I had to say, why? Because it makes money. It makes money. So they know what they're supposed to. They're in a capital-based system and they'll do anything that makes money. The same thing the government's doing. The government makes money to gain more power from limiting the resources the population have to keep them struggling. And they're supposed to do that because that's the model. These people are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're making the video.
Rise in coronavirus porn makes perfect sense. What's more titillating than the band, the scary thing you're supposed to stay away from? Others say it's just a silly novelty, which people always love too. I say, no duh. Of course there's coronavirus porn. Because while the virus is the kind of organism that spreads and kills, we are the kind of organism who likes porn. All kinds of it.
Real talk, the real talk. If you really think about it, I mean, what is it with people having interrelations with sexual workers unprotected? They're flirting with disease. We've been flirting with diseases for a long time now. Here you got enough six packs and tall, dark, and handsome. And got the bazumba boombas and you got the lingerie just enough. People are risk getting sick for you. They'll do it. I see it in my country, do it all the time. I remember my first interaction with people with STDs. This does not surprise me at all. I was in my college dorm and I went and looked in the bathroom. They said, "Hey, something is in the sink." We went in there and the crabs was in the sink. It was in the sink. Yeah, these little creepy crawly things all in the sink because he didn't washed whatever over the sink. And we know who did it too. I know him. He's still on my Facebook. I know the guy. He lived on our floor. Yeah, people have been risking life and limb a long time. This is the problem with being monkeys and bananas. The only thing that we like more than bananas is doing that monkey dance, doing that naked monkey mambo. That's the only thing we like more than fighting and killing each other over bananas is over the monkey mambo. And this is why we probably don't make it. This is probably why we don't make it. So that's not surprising. You're supposed to have cuckoo virus porn. You got to have Mars porn too and pyramid porn. Whatever the new thing is, you need to have anything that you can attach your industry to make money. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. I know both of them go crazy on this, man. Both and Dan, you're probably gonna go nuts on this one. Jimmy Dore, you're just healthy as the least insured person around you. Ooh, that's a good quote. You see what he's saying there? You're only as healthy as the least insured person around you. You're only as healthy, to a degree, not completely, but kind of, sort of. If you're standing, who is that? Jay Jane? If you're standing next to Jay Jane, who's that? Jeannie? You're standing next to Jeannie, and Jeannie is not taking care of her health, and she's cultivating the cuckoo virus, making it work. You live in a suppressive society that keeps resources from the people, so the flu viruses, they get stronger, living in the human body longer and longer and longer, which was the video that got me banned on Facebook or whatever it is. I might even be blocked anymore, but I don't know. I didn't look. I don't care. I think I'm kind of done with live streaming there. If you're cultivating a flu, you're cultivating the bacteria, you're letting it stay in your body long enough to teach it how to learn, and that's what Jay is doing. I think that's Jeannie. And you live next to Jeannie, well, eventually Jeannie gonna give you what she's working on. You know, if she's taking the pharmaceutical drugs, she's watching these commercials, ignoring the side effects, popping them pills, the headache medicine, drinking her Kool-Aid, eating the bagels and the donuts and the Twinkies, getting that sugar, reducing her immune system, teaching that bacteria how to just live and thrive in the human body. Eventually, she's gonna make it strong enough to give it to you if it doesn't kill her. I see what Jimmy Dore's saying. We're all connected. We're all connected. I mean, I don't get sick, but that's just because nobody around me is cultivating something that can take on my immune system. My immune system is pretty, no doubt, diggity strong, because I live healthy for the most part, you know. But the older I get, the more problems my immune system has, and eventually somebody's gonna pass something on down. It's gonna come on over to me, because that's just how all of this works. All right. Olympic torch ceremony jeopardized. Ooh, the Olympics, they're gonna stop the Olympics because of the cuckoo.
All right, let's head over. I'm actually over in the world of sports. Not heading, I'm here. I'm over with Steve Christakos. So Steve, you got some women's soccer action. There's some beef, though, I think, right, between these two?
There might be a little, but the U.S. women's team just continuing to dominate. And, you know, the She Believes Cup kicked off on Thursday with defending World Cup champions USA taking on rival England, who we all remember lost to the Americans 2-1 in the semifinals last summer at the World Cup. Ahead of the match, however, Captain Megan Rapinoe downplayed the rivalry.
I don't know if there's any bad blood, but I mean, I think for us, you know, and the focus the last couple of years has been to just play the best teams that we can all the time. It puts, you know, a lot of top 10s and a lot of top 5s on our schedule for the whole year, but I think you look back to last year and last summer, like we were so prepared for every different kind of team.
And they were most definitely prepared as they once again triumphed over the British after a scoreless first half. Kristen Press curled in a shot from outside the area in the 53rd minute, followed by a Carly Lloyd goal moments later to give the U.S. a 2-0 lead, and that would be enough. Goalkeeper Alyssa Nair made 3 saves to keep the 2-0 shutout intact. For Press, it was her 8th goal in the last 8 matches, while Lloyd notched her 123rd career goal as the Americans extended their unbeaten streak to 29 games. Next up for the United States is world number 13, Spain, on Sunday. And on to some basketball. Zenit St. Petersburg is dead last in the standings in the EuroLeague, losing their last 6 games. Meanwhile, Zalgiris Kaunas is riding a 3-game winning streak and currently tied for that 8th and final spot in the playoffs. So at home in St. Petersburg, Zenit just playing for respect. Nothing to lose here, but the visitors everything to gain. Zalgiris came out firing, bursting to a 17-point lead in the second quarter. Jacques Landale with a throwdown in transition and then flexes on him, and he would have a huge night. But the home team closing the gap before halftime. Speaking of coming up huge, Andrew Albisi was balling. He pulls and pops from distance to cut the lead to just 4. Now, fourth quarter, Zenit up 4 now. Albisi hustles out in front on the fast break, rewards his big man, Gustavo Ayon, for the 2-handed slam, and the bench just loving it. This one needed overtime, though. So in the extra periods, Zalgiris down 1, and you have to watch the big guy in the lane. They feed Landale, and he just muscles out the defenders there and flushes one. 27, a career-high point total for him. And the go-ahead bucket, but Albisi drew the foul over Lukas Lekevicius, shoots 2, made the first to tie at 75, and then sinks the second with 2.8 seconds left. Gives St. Petersburg the lead. One last chance for the visitors. Casey Rivers misses the 3, and Landale for the putback, but doesn't get it to go. Zenit upsets Zalgiris 76-75 in overtime. And take a look at this. Quite possibly the strangest, dramatic buzzer beater you'll ever see. Italy's Olimpia Milano was taking on Valencia in Spain behind closed doors. No fans in the arena at all to see that. Milano's Vladimir Misov didn't seem to mind drilling the game winner at the buzzer, giving his squad the 83-81 win over Valencia. And the empty seats were, of course, due to the government prohibiting fans from attending events involving teams from high-risk areas for coronavirus. And speaking of, the Tokyo Olympic Committee is insisting the 2020 Summer Games will go on as planned in July despite coronavirus fears. However, the symbolic torch relay is the first part of those games that is being downsized. Organizers said it was a heartbreaking decision to cancel a performance scheduled for the handover ceremony, as 140 Japanese school children were supposed to go to Athens for the event. The torch will be lit, though, in Greece on March 12th as planned, and then fly to Japan, where it will land at a Japanese airbase. The 4-month relay begins on March 26th from the Fukushima prefecture, 150 miles northeast of Tokyo, and is expected to end on July 24th at the new $1.5 billion National Stadium in Tokyo. IOC President Thomas Bach says the games will go on in Japan as planned, and the word postponement or cancellation has not been mentioned. But despite the ongoing insistence, President of Tokyo's Olympic Organizing Committee, Yoshiro Mori, says that if it comes down to it, modification is better than cancellation.
In order to support people, the Tokyo Olympics should be held even if parts of it have to be modified. For instance, not having children participate. But it does not mean we will scale it down. We should optimize our energy and focus to proceed steadily for a fruitful ceremony and handover ceremony.
I'm telling you, such a fluid situation. Every day it changes.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, Japan right now is on total lockdown. Schools are shut down, universities are shut down. Like, everybody has to be like self-quarantined in their own home. Right. And the Olympics are just a couple of months off. I'm not so sure that people are going to show up to be like, you know, right next to each other, sitting in the stands.
Yeah, it's going to be something. No matter what, the attendance will be low, but I do think it'll go on as planned because it's not till July 24th, and they have to the end of May to decide, 60 days before the opening ceremony. So.
And but, you know, that goes by really quick.
It does.
Even if the fans don't show up, there's going to be plenty of athletes still doing their thing. So. Yes. Gotta go after the gold. All right, that's it for us right now. We're out of time. We'll be back Monday starting at noon. Make sure you keep up with everything in question at all times by going to download our brand new app, Portable TV. I'm Manila Chan.
I'm Steve Christakis.
See you Monday.
working. There we go. Wasn't working for a second. All right. Okay. Who's that? Dylan talking about the sports teams. Yeah. Hey, go Coliseum. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. If you go to the Coliseum during a flu outbreak, I think it's a reasonable expectation of getting some flus. You're going to get some bacteria. It's just how it works. You go to a sports stadium, people jump up and yell and scream. They spit, boogers, hair, everything, juice, drink spilling everywhere. Yeah, go team, yelling, screaming, bacteria everywhere. And this is not going to be any kind of a question. If not, you're going to get some bacteria. You are going to get bacteria. That's what I say. Preparing for the cuckoo virus is like preparing for any other flu. There's no difference. No difference. You go to the stadium, you're going to get some bacteria. If you're not drinking your smoothies, then yeah, you're going to have some issues. All right, let's start wrapping this up. What else we got? Anything else important? I don't really see the U.S. 2020 election frenzy and pandemic and pandemonium, right? Because fear is how you get people broken. You got to scare them somehow. You got to get them scared of their neighbors. You got to get them scared of the Russians. You got to get them scared of the immigrants. You got to get them scared of not having jobs, not having slavery. You got to get them scared the economy ain't looking good. Get them scared of flus and bacteria. It just makes sense. Get them scared of pedophilia. Get them scared of anything. Get them scared of anything that's been on this planet since the beginning of the creation of capital. Get them scared of anything that the model literally creates to get them to continue to behave as fools. And they'll get out there voting for you. They'll get out there. Oh, they go for Farron. Fair and Balanced. I think they hired her for her name. Fair and Balanced. Fair and Balanced. MSN Mrs. Mark after Super Tuesday. Okay, I don't know what mark they were going for, but it was MSN and people are tuning in for the cuckoo virus. They couldn't have missed all the marks. People scared as hell, apparently. More likely to die of the flu than coronavirus. Corona cuckoo virus. Absolutely. Ben Swan, he likes to say things that are truthful. Cuckoo virus now in DC Beltway. Uh-oh, I just got back from there. And U.S. states prep for the worst. Ooh, this just sounds fear-mongering. This is the last one that I gotta go.
All right, the world is on the verge of hitting the 100,000 mark of confirmed cases of coronavirus. That is coming from the World Health Organization, again, urging all nations to make containment their highest priority. As of today, the virus has claimed the lives of some 3,400 people, most of them in China. And in the last few days, several more states.
How many people have died of cardiovascular disease since I started this broadcast?
Here in the U.S. have declared public emergency.
Cardiovascular disease made by industries and corporations through cheddar cheese and milk and sugar that lobby the politicians to get everybody scared of the cuckoo virus.
Including Maryland, with 3 confirmed cases there. RT Saya Tavenger is following the story. She's joining us now to explain more about how they're trying to contain the virus. Sarah?
Well, first, the latest Manila, President Trump signed into law an $8.3 billion emergency funding package for the coronavirus response, which will provide federal public health response, which will provide federal
how much?
The coronavirus response, which will provide federal.
How much? Wait.
Trump signed into law an $8.3 billion.
$8.3 billion. Did he beat Obama? Who got more money for the corporations? Did Obama do it or did Trump? $8.3 billion. I thought Obama was $6 billion. Who got more for the corporations? I'm just curious. Well, that money's gonna protect us. No, dummies, they're gonna use that money to take your rights. Okay, they're gonna use that money to treat you like a slave by something that's not even killing people. And like Rebecca just said, HIV is more dangerous anyway. Not really. I mean, they almost cured it. I think they probably created it. I think that it was probably an accidental creation that they used for disaster capitalism against the LGBTQ community, and then it spread to the other communities. That's what I think. They had the vaccine, they were ready to go with it. Those 10 other companies started human trials testing for the vaccine for it, and magically it didn't work out. They discovered AZT and they figured out they have a drug that they can use to sell to you the rest of your damn life. So everybody stays infected. This is the problem with having a non-efficient society. Everybody walks around sick, and they are gonna stay sick as long as they convinced you and got you scared enough to take drugs for the rest of your life and believing in the criminals that actually run your government. So yeah, I wonder how much Obama's was.
Emergency funding package for the coronavirus response, which will provide federal public health agency money for things like vaccine, tests.
Vaccine? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in any corporation's products, so that's a problem. That's not for me. Tests? I'm not taking any of the tests because I don't really give a damn.
And potential treatments.
Potential treatments? I'm not worried about their treatments. I have something called immune system and white blood cells, and I treat myself with smoothies. I live healthy. I stress myself as little as possible, and I utilize the treatment that's worked on this planet for almost 1 billion years now.
So we're signing the 8.3 billion. I asked for 2.5, and I got 8.3, and I'll take it.
Of course he will.
But earlier there was some confusion as President Trump was scheduled to visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention headquarters today in Atlanta. Trump told reporters that he canceled the trip because of a suspected coronavirus at the CDC. But after the case turned up negative, the president rescheduled his trip. Meantime, on the other side of the country, the University of Washington just announced that it effectively will cancel in-person classes and have students take classes and final exams remotely while the Seattle area tackles with the growing outbreak. Vice President Mike Pence guaranteed the full support of the Trump administration to Washington state officials.
Well, the coronavirus has spread in the Seattle area, and new cases are detected around the country every day. The good news is that the vast majority of all of those who have contracted the coronavirus are recovering and doing well.
So let's talk about the cases here.
See, I have a problem anytime they say something that's true. I have a problem because you don't know what to trust. I use my emotions, man. When y'all lying to me, I understand how the world works. When you start saying things that are truthful, it's like, why? But why? Why are you saying, or is it just burning out now and you can't keep the phony fake news lie going, or you got the next thing to scare people? Or is it like really starting to mutate and become something significant? I don't know. To me, I don't believe anything that they got to say. I'm not going to react to it. I think this is entertaining. It's just entertainment.
Here in the U.S. Now, take a look at this map. There are now more than 200 confirmed cases of the COVID-19 in the U.S., primarily in Washington state with 75 and 13 deaths, followed by California with 66 and 1 death, and New York at 33, followed by 10.
I get that. And you look at Washington state and you say 13 deaths, and you feel sorry for them. And you feel sorry for the families and people left behind. You do. But to me, it's ridiculous because how many people died in car accidents from cars that we shouldn't be driving? How many people died from being shot by the police who were like starved into doing what's called a crime? How many people died from the lack of having a telephone? Lack of being able to communicate and call for help because our elites been hiding the damn telephone since the damn Chimu people. You know, how many people died from not having a car? How many people died from being... See, to me, it's more important to like fight for the lives you can save and don't worry so much about the ones you can't. You know, we know more people die from having a ruling body pretending to be governing, and they're just siphoning away billions and billions of dollars from the people taking their rights for big corporations. I think that's a little more important.
Texas with 12 cases. The latest 2 states joining the list are now Maryland and Indiana. And of the 3,533 people currently on board the Grand Princess cruise ship that's been idling off San Francisco, the 45 people who were showing symptoms of the virus will finally get their results later today. And Manila, take a look at this list.
I mean, think about it. All right, think about it like this. Most people who contract it barely show symptoms and don't like die. They don't get deathly ill. And these are Americans, y'all. These are people eating the bagels and the donuts and the Reese's Pieces and the Jolly Ranchers and getting 2 liters of soda pop at Walmart. These are people who don't even have, the doctor said that, not me. The doctor said that most Americans walk around with debilitated, partially working immune systems because of the crap that they eat and the poison in the water, the food, the air, and everything they put on their skincare products. Okay, if most people who are deathly ill with a barely functioning immune system, who got to take Xanax to get up in the morning and headache medicine to get through the afternoon, coffee to make it through the rest of the job and slavery, if these people are actually, their bodies are healing themselves from the cuckoo flu, why are you worried about it? Especially if you're half of a hippie. If you're half of a hippie and you listen to half of what we tell you about grow your own, eat your own food, eat as much raw food as you can, you have nothing to worry about. If you haven't had a cold, cough, or flu in the last 3, 4, 5 months, you've already beaten the average for most sickly Americans. You probably won't even know you got it. We got big problems to deal with, and this is not one of them. You got $8.6 billion that you need to donate to an effort that's going to help people. You need to donate to autistic kids, autistic families of autism. You need to donate to people with cardiovascular disease, people with diabetes, people with illnesses of poverty, because you have a government that's artificially scarcing them into creating not only mentally ill, but the physically ill. Poverty being one of the great conditions that create illness and disease, right? Keeping people. You got people in San Francisco and LA still living on the streets. You got that amount of money to donate. You want to help people. It's a lot of people you can help, but it's not by giving billions of dollars to pharmaceutical industries and more police state nonsense. That's not helping. That's what I'm saying. It boggles my mind. People are like, oh, Donald Trump is fighting the deep state. He is not fighting no damn deep state. You don't fight the deep state by giving them $8.6 billion to control the population. Come on, y'all got to grow the hell up. He's doing the same thing Obama did. He's doing exactly what he's told. And that's what the next guy is going to do. Doesn't matter who it is. He's going to do exactly what he's told. Because the problem is the system. That boggles my mind. What is this? What we got right here? How a virus was contracted. Unknown. Travel overseas. Diamond Princess cruise. Nursing home. So listen. So here's the things that y'all shouldn't do. You should not get on a cruise ship because you believe in news. You should not go to a hospital because you believe in news. Well, you probably shouldn't go there anyway. You don't have any personal contact. I mean, none of that sexualizations and nothing. None of the singles dating clubs where y'all meet each other and put the keys in the locks and all them games, the dating game, speed. Don't do none of that. Don't shake nobody's hand. Don't go to nursing homes, because this is the scary thing that we're doing right now. Don't go on no Princess Diana cruises or Diamond cruises. Don't do any travel overseas. Better yet, don't even go in your car because somebody might have sneezed on the handle. It might be safer. And don't do anything that's unknown and you'll be safe. Because we got $8.6 billion we gave to the police state and pharmaceutical companies that your kids got to pay back after this thing blows out. That's what I'm saying. That's why I appreciate, where's Brother Al at when you need him? Where's Brother Al at? He said, basically America's a looting operation. That's all it is. It's a looting. They're just looting the country. They loot the country on your fears. And when the dollar goes down to the value of zero, we got what, 2% left? 1% since 1913 through the Federal Reserve and Fractional Reserve Bank. Once those bankers are done with the two political parties, the Democrats and Republicans, raping, looting, pillaging America, all they're going to do is collapse you and let you drop. They're going to take their military-industrial complex, their Lockheed Martins, their Raytheons, all their ships, planes, bombs, trains, airplanes, and they're going to go to China or Russia. That's just how it works. They don't love you. They got a job to do. They're not providing a service to the people. They're performing a job for their political party. A political party can lift right the hell up and go right to Russia. And that's just how it works. It's just money and power. It doesn't sound good, I know. I was talking to Lori's over there laughing. I was talking to that politician on the local level. And he's like, oh my God, you're so dismal. And I'm like, no, you live in the dark time. You live in the dark ages. That's the problem. You think that you live in a rosy time. And you don't live in a rosy time. You just don't read. You don't do research. You don't read books. You actually look at the television, and because the roses is on TV and the money you're spending, you think it comes from tax instead of from slavery, from oppression, from embezzlement, from war. You think that, oh, these are good times. We don't live in good times, people. Everything from the dark ages, we just made legal, all right? Everything that's happening, we just pushed to small communities around the world that don't have internet, so you don't know what's happening. We shut off the internet in those areas. We don't live in dark times, we're just stupid. You know, you can fix problems, but you got to accept how dark the times are. It's really that simple. So I'm damn.
From a trip, but health officials are now reporting incidents of the virus turning up in people with no high-risk travel history. And now hospitals are reporting a shortage of testing kits. As for the people seeking to get tested for the virus, earlier this week, Vice President Pence said both Medicaid and Medicare programs would cover the cost of the test for those enrolled. And lastly, I just want to mention that the
you ain't getting me for no test. Nope. No. I'm not. First of all, how do you know they're taking something out instead of putting something in? I don't know that. You ain't sticking me with nothing. I don't trust your doctors. I don't trust your medical establishment. Don't trust your pharmaceutical companies. Ain't damn sure ain't gonna trust that test, let alone get any kind of a vaccine from you people. Hell no. Hells to the no. I ain't taking none of it. Why? Because y'all crazy as hell. You're bombing, blowing up children. I don't think people who blow up children to for campaign contributions and lobbyist checks, I don't think they're good people. I don't think that they're worried about my health care. I don't think they're worried about me getting the cuckoo flu. I think those people are dark and demons, and they do what dark demons and demonic dark age times do. All right? That's the thing. I'm not worried about the cuckoo virus. I'm not worried because they're not making me cuckoo. I know I live in a cuckoo clock. And just as scheduled, it's chiming. Cuckoo, 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 measles, cuckoo, cuckoo, Russia, cuckoo, cuckoo, Canova, cuckoo. And when that one's done, it's be a new cuckoo coming out the clock. And I don't do cuckoo clocks. I'm too grown. I just don't have time. I got important things to do. I got basil getting in the ground. But anyway, you want to free the people? You need to realize we didn't make the telephone. That's where this started out, right? They find ancient technology in tombs because they don't show you what's in them when they open them. They don't open them on live streams and open source. Eventually, they're going to figure out a way to take that telephone and shove it up your okay? That's what they do. That's exactly what they did with the telephone. They pretended they invented it in 1833. They've been using it for 2,000 years in Peru. But they finally figured out how to control people by it. The kings used it the same way in Peru. And eventually it evolved to a multimedia controlling internet. What do you think about that? Do you want to free the people? I'm ready to free the people. I'm just done with it. I'm done with it. Start studying now. No, Beaufort. No, they need to start studying 10 years ago. It's too late. It's too late to start now. At this point, Beaufort, they can't start now. They need to just listen at this point. People who still believe the system, you're not going to catch up in time. It's too much to read. It's too much to learn. Critical thought. Beaufort, I think they just need to listen at this point. They need to just say, you know what? I ain't been paying attention. I get now what y'all saying. I'm just going to listen. I am going to read and research, but I'm going to be quiet and just listen to people who've been reading law for a little while and see what's really wrong with the world. All right. Oh, her super something is interesting. Wait, what is this? Oh, it's Brother Al and a few other people. Hang on. I gotta close these out so I can see. Pat, Al, who is that? Oh, that's Sean Yankee. I can close them out. There we go. Oh, super. It's her, and look what she's interested in. Miss E.T. on RT. Oh, yeah, well, but I think you appreciated that report. I know Patricia don't like her too much, but I thought that was a good report. That's how you watch the news. Just watch the news and read through the cracks. All you can do. You'll know this is serious when they have a 48-hour long COVID-19 telethon during Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, that's coming. That, you know what, both you just put that out in the ethos, man. They're gonna pick that idea up. They're gonna do a telethon. That's a great way to raise money. Do a cuckoo virus telethon. I bet you people are sending all their money. They're sending in their rights. They wrote the law. The Patriots are cheering Trump on the fact that he gave $8.6 billion to the deep state to fight the cuckoo virus. Of course they'll be cuckoo. They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They'll send that money in like you would not believe. Have a telethon, put Trump on it. Have another telethon, put Obama on the other side. Have another telethon, put May, Merkel, all the rest of them. All these people are sending money. Protect us from the cuckoo flu. And all it's just a system. It's just a system. They deny you technology. They deny your resources. They starve you into conflict. They keep technology from you. That keeps you in conflict. and you beg the people who keep the technology and the resources from you to save you. It doesn't process it. Most people say, this is my problem with autopilot. That's why my problem with autopilot. That's what you know everything. No, I don't. I just don't do anything till I know what I'm doing. I think about it. If you ask me about it, I got an answer for every action I take. Every word out my mouth, there's thought behind. And I got an answer for that. But that's in my world. Your world, I have no idea. I have no answers for nobody else. I got no answers for your government, got no answers. In my world, yes, I don't do anything till I think about it. I know what a good thing to do is. We are the world version of We Are the World. Get Michael Jackson. They need to bring him back, Beaufont. They can just say, hey, it was Machiavelli. Michael Jackson's still alive. We need to have a telethon. Bring them all out. We are the world, and start donating money to big corporations and pharmaceutical companies that are poisoning us and weakening our immune systems to actually create a vaccine to help us. All right, I gotta get going. This is just, the ridiculousness continues. It's just not stopping. As long as we believe it, and it's just gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. So just enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Plant your vegetables, plant your fruits, make your smoothie, find some neat friends to hang out with and go for walks and hikes in nature and just enjoy it. Enjoy it, but don't react. Don't react. That's how they make money, on your reactions. Like you monkeys and hit the damn telephone. That blew me away. You mean tell me the Mayans made the damn telephone? They've been using the telephone for 2,000 years and we just got cell phones? 2,000 years ago, we just got cell phones. They just figured out how to use them. All right, I gotta go. Listen, this is Gerard. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a wonderful day. I am out of here. Bye and bye. Free the people. Do you want to even free the people? Or are you enjoying the system? Enjoy the system. Do you want to enjoy slavery? Enjoy the system from the bottom to the